Hello, and welcome to the Sofa Talk podcast. I'm your co host, Aster.
And I'm your co-host, SeVen.
Let's talk it out and lounge it up. We appreciate you listening. This is episode 14, and the title of today's episode is Real Talk, the Father Edition. Today is a conversation that is not discussed too much, and it's about fathers, fatherhood, healing, and showing up. Welcome back. So, let me start off by saying happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers that are out there, because we did record a little bit after. So,
Mhm.
happy Father's Day to you all, and happy Father's Day to you,
Thank
SeVen.
you.
I already
Thank
told
you.
you already, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. When SeVen and I were trying to discuss a topic for June, I was looking at the calendar and then I said, SeVen, I think a good topic would be a topic on Father's Day,
hmm
because Father's Day is in June. And I think that we rarely get to talk about fathers and it's not talked about positively.
Right.
So I had mentioned to him on a side conversation that I feel, this is my personal opinion, and I'm a woman that's speaking this, that I feel that Father's Day isn't hyped or blown up as much as it is for Mother's Day.
hmm
I know when I get emails from I don't want to say their names on here, but like say it could be from a flower website, I mean, to deliver flowers or gift baskets or what have you. And then there's another site that has, delicious types of food or fruits that can get delivered. I'm not going to say their name.
hmm
I don't remember or recalling looking at my email of getting a lot of Father's Day purchases or specials compared to the Mother's Day. And I could be wrong. I got a lot going on, y'all. Y'all know I got a lot going on. So I could be wrong. Maybe that could be my personal opinion or my personal bias.
hmm
But I just feel that even on commercials, I just feel Father's Day is not hyped up as much
Mm-mm.
as Mother's Day. And I'm going to ask, be honest, does Father's Day get the same love as Mother's Day?
I don't think so.
I
I,
don't think I don't think so
I
either.
I honestly don't think so.
Okay.
And it just didn't get like that. I think it's been like that
For
for a
for year, yeah,
while.
for years.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I really don't think so.
Okay. I agree. I said it earlier. I gave my verdict, and I don't think it is. I personally don't think it is, and I'm a woman saying that again. Why do you think that is? Like,
That's a good question. I think
that's a good
because
question.
it's a large amount of fathers, absent fathers that aren't
Mm.
in their children's lives.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I will say this too, this might ruffle some feathers.
Mm-hmm.
There are also a lot of wonderful fathers
Mm-hmm.
that are in the mother's
Mm-hmm.
presence,
Mm-hmm.
not the children. So it's making it hard for these fathers to be fathers to their children because of the mother. But that's, I won't go there.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that's why there's a big disconnect when it comes to like Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Good
the
topic.
whole thing with the whole Father's thing is just a lot.
Uh-huh.
Some moms are angry, some fathers are lacking, and I'm not picking or choosing sides or anything like
Exactly,
that.
because everybody has a story.
Because everybody has a story.
Yes.
But I think that's why Father's Day is not celebrated the way that it should be, because it's just such
Mm-hmm.
it's a mess, a big mess in relationships. For one, absent fathers, bitter
Mm-hmm. Yes.
mothers. It just it's a lot. So
Okay.
I think that's why it's not blown up like
Like
that.
that. And
Yeah,
then I think also too, where the innocent children
yeah.
are in the middle having to pick and choose
Who to
sides with
celebrate and
mother
who?
and father.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying? And then
yeah.
you can't. you don't want your mother to feel bad if you're celebrating your father, like you mentioned earlier about bitterness.
Yeah.
You mentioned about bitterness. So the mother could be harboring bitterness and everything. The kids feel that and see that and that resentment, and
Hmm.
that could dampen the relationship that the children has
Yes.
with their father. Does
Yes.
that make sense?
I agree.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree.
I agree too. Um, just does society celebrate fathers enough?
No.
No. Yeah.
Even the good fathers don't get credit.
Yeah.
They don't. And this is the thing.
I'm gonna say
This
about
is the
that.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those fathers that need validation from anybody.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to post. I don't have to be a Facebook dad, Instagram dad,
Mm-hmm.
Snapchat dad. I don't have to do that. This is
Mm-hmm.
what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a father first.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to that, I take fatherhood very, very, very
Seriously.
serious. I take
Yes.
it very, very serious.
Yes.
But I feel like it is, do you call it a double standard? Maybe
It
what do you?
could. It
It
could.
could be, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like how I'm seeing like they're like and everything's not for social media. We always say this
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
So for talkers, everything's not for social media, but just talking and just viewing, I did not see a lot of celebration for these fathers. And yeah, I just didn't.
Okay. Do you think sometimes with, like you mentioned about posting, which refers back to social media?
Hmm.
So do you feel that sometimes that there are fathers excuse me, y'all. Okay, excuse me, y'all. Something was in my throat. Do you feel that there's times where fathers do post on social media how great they are, maybe because they feel that they're not celebrated enough, or to be an
Yeah.
example for
Yes,
the other fathers out
I
there?
know a few excellent, wonderful files. At one point, there's this one in particular, and it kind of got on my nerves. I felt like he was just doing the most. But then I also kind of understand, because it's like, because of so much backlash against
Mhm,
fathers,
mhm, mhm,
it's like I have to prove my point. So maybe
mhm,
that was his way of showing, like, there's things out there
mhm,
about me, but my the thing that I might fuck up on a lot of other things, but the things I do
mhm,
right
mhm.
is being a dad and taking care of my kids. So I
Okay.
kind of do understand where he's coming from with that. And sometimes, they always say, like, men don't have to do this, men don't, need attention or,
Mhm.
validation, all that stuff like that. But sometimes you do, because there's so much negative energy
Okay.
towards it. It's kind of like, well, if I don't, I kind of
Uh-huh.
want to be acknowledged as a good
Yes,
father and
yes,
a present father and all of
yes.
that. I don't know what you call it. It's messy when it comes to that. But the fathers, even the
Mhm.
good fathers, and like I said, I'm just going for myself. I just didn't see and hear a lot. Especially
Go
this
ahead,
Father's Day,
yes.
it just didn't, even in my household.
Uh-huh.
I felt like my kids, there was kind of like a disconnect with my kids this year too.
Really?
Yeah, like it just, like, normally, and I know maybe because they're getting older now and they got their
Yeah.
own stuff going on, but it wasn't like how they used to be. They wake up all excited, like
Oh,
all that. It was kind
so
of like,
just another
it's
it's
like, it was
like
like
another
another
day.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And their
That's deep.
mom, she was cool or whatever, but I didn't feel like I got the red carpet treatment like I normally
For her,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
kind of dry.
Okay.
Honestly, my parents and my grandparents,
But they
they
slice it up
kind
a
of
little
went,
bit.
they spiced it up for
Uh-huh.
me, but it was a little dry in my household. I know
Uh-huh.
we were just coming back from vacation ourselves,
Yes.
and then and then she was getting ready to leave off again
Yes.
to take the children on vacation because I had
Yes.
to stay back and work. So I know a lot was going on that weekend, but I just it wasn't one of my best Father
Father's Day.
days.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. Thank you for the
Hmm.
honesty. Thank you.
Yep.
Because I
But
didn't know.
I
I thought
did
it
get
was
to
good for you.
rest
I
and
didn't know.
relax.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's what
I
you
rest and
needed. Yeah,
relax.
especially coming
And
back from
like,
vacay.
my kids gave me cards and stuff like that, but it just
Yeah.
wasn't, like I
Like,
said, it wasn't like that big exciting feeling that I used to get from them. It was like, oh, here you go,
here you
dad,
go.
here's your card or
Yeah.
whatever, Father's Day.
Yeah.
But it's like, they're getting older now, so it's like they all going about their own business. But it's like they acknowledged me and stuff
Yeah.
like that, even my stepkids. But it was just
Yeah.
like, it was dry this
It was
year.
dry this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year will be better.
Yeah.
Let's hope next year.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be just a dry spell right now that's
I
going
think
on
that's what
in
that
life
it could
right
be
now with
too for
everybody.
everybody. It's
Everybody,
like they just
kids,
don't got
adults.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot going on.
Yeah.
That's what it could be. Um, what really makes someone a father? that this is good to even bring up the topic. What makes somebody a father? Someone a father.
What makes someone a father? And a father is a man in general. He's a
Mm-hmm.
leader. He's a provider.
Mm-hmm.
He's a observant. He listens.
He
He
protects.
protects. He
Yes.
guides. He leads.
Yes.
That's a father,
And he leads by example.
and leads by example.
Okay. Okay. Shows love.
Shows love,
Uh-huh.
unconditional
I
love,
like that. Okay.
affection. Kids need that. Kids
Yes.
need listening ears. They need somebody to understand them, take the time to listen to them, make sense of their thoughts.
Yes. Don't put them down.
Don't put them
But if you
down.
had to criticize them, give them constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
Mm-hmm.
that. So those are qualities. As you all know, I am happily single and loving it. And when I think about a father for my child, the characteristics that SeVen had listed is what I'm looking for, plus more,
Yeah.
for a good father. I also want the father to be good to me so that we can have a good parenting relationship as well. And if, say, for instance, I don't want this to happen, but life doesn't guarantee and everything's like a 50-50 here. If my husband and I, and we had a child together, were to divorce, I want us to still love each other and still be able to co-parent effectively for ourselves. And definitely for the number one priority would be for my child with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I look into things like that. I'm working on things. I'm trying to work on what I want in a man, what a man might want in me also. It's just not what I want, what my future husband, father's child would want in me. So I'm working on myself too. I have things I have to work on
Mm-hmm.
as well. So I'm taking this time for my singleness to work on myself so I can get my future father, what they call future baby daddy, my future husband, and my future child's father,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to embrace him, I want to honor him, and I want to respect him the best way I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important. So, oh, this is such a good topic, y'all. I'll be hyping us up, y'all. If nobody's gonna hype us up, I'm gonna hype. Aster's gonna hype up this
For
podcast and these
sure.
topics.
Yeah.
I believe in it. I feel it. I love it. Um, let me see here, y'all, because we got good ones. We got good subtopics. Does Father's Day get enough love? We mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
No, we pretty
Mm-mm.
much agree. You and I both
Mm-mm.
agree. No, no. What do y'all agree? Or what do y'all think?
Mm-hmm.
Does Father's Day get enough love? Why does Father's Day feel different? You mentioned that earlier. It
Mm-hmm.
felt different for you this year.
It did. Yeah.
I think it could feel different for fathers that don't have a strong relationship with their children also.
Of
You
course.
know what I'm saying? Like estranged relationships.
Mm-hmm.
They don't contact each other frequently. Maybe they cut the cord with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happens. And I think fathers might get in their feelings like, damn,
My dad said I was the only kid out of the
you were the
5.
only kid at the 5
Mm-hmm.
that
And normally there's one other, which is my oldest, the oldest. She always
yeah.
reaches out and does Facebook posts. She reached out to me, but she didn't
She
reach
reached
out
out
to
to
her dad.
you. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's
Yeah.
like a slap in your dad's face.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh shit. How did he feel about that? How did he?
It's
Oh,
funny.
I
It's
know he had
funny
to
you
feel
say
some
that.
way.
He didn't say nothing about my mom did.
So he didn't say. So he was.
Mm-hmm. My mom told me.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I
Uh,
think he already expects it because that's just the
yeah.
dynamic of
The
the
relationship.
relationship.
Wow. Okay. There's
But
some tension.
normally he'll get a call from my oldest sister and maybe my brother, but my brother he's incarcerated right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's nice. Your brother does
it would
that.
normally be us 3.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's.
Or 2, me and my oldest sister, yeah.
Oh
For
wow.
sure.
Oh, so do you, in that situation, do you think that the father should worry about the children who did not reach out to him and appreciate the ones who did? Or do you get what I'm saying? Am I making sense? If I'm not,
You're making sense.
clarify that for me if I'm not.
Honestly, I don't think he gives a fuck anymore, but he does give a
He
fuck.
does. Okay, so it's two.
It's 2.
Yeah, it's two
Yeah.
sides to
It's like
that.
I'm used to it. Like that I
Okay.
think that's how he carries like whatever it is what it is.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Um. mm.
And I feel like that relationship, it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier when we were talking about like bitterness and stuff like that.
With the
And kids can be
mothers,
with the mother
they're
and
taking
the
sides.
and
Yep,
that was something that was
that is very
instilled in them
popular.
when they were younger.
Yeah,
So, they never broke that and never really decided as they became adults, like, you know what, I want the relationship I want with my dad, not because
yeah.
of what my mom says
Yes,
or
she
how
put in
she feel or what she put
brainwashed me
in
or
me.
influenced me.
I want my
Mhm,
own relationship. I want to
mhm,
my own thoughts of him, my own
mhm, mhm.
understanding of him. But that's why their relationship is kind of the way that it
That
is.
it
If
is.
we was to go into that direction of conversation, like that's how that is, which is similar to
Yeah. Yes.
a lot of situations. So yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, that's true though. Do you think it has to do with like culture, marketing, or expectations?
No.
No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Um, are fathers appreciated only as providers? That is a good question.
That's a really good
That is a
question.
very good question. And I want to say, because what did we
Yeah,
mention earlier? You mentioned being a provider. What is a father?
a
A father
provider.
is looked at as a provider.
Yeah.
And if the man can't provide, that
He's
means he's not a father,
he's
right?
not a
Or
father, or
he's
he's
less
less
than of a
than.
father. Yep, than
He's
a
less
father.
than.
That is true. We do put emphasis in society, does put emphasis on the provider role because that's what a man's supposed to
That's what he's
do
supposed to do.
for himself and the family.
Hmm.
Okay. Checkpoint.
Yep.
Yep.
Do fathers deserve more recognition, or are they celebrated exactly as society expects?
I think fathers do deserve more recognition. I think they do.
I think they do
I think
too.
they do. I think, like we said, the Father's Day promos, advertisement, commercials. You said on social media you barely saw any Father's
Mm-mm.
Day posts,
Mm-mm.
anything positive regarding Father's Day. It,
Mm-mm.
it was it was
You would have
mm,
thought these fathers
mm.
were Joe Jackson and Ike Turner.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace
Rest
to
in
those
peace to those
guys.
two. Yes,
But
rest in
you
peace.
would have thought that those were the type of fathers that these that are going. I mean, it was dry.
It was dry.
But let's not say that there aren't
Mhm.
good fathers and they weren't celebrated. I'm just saying
Mhm.
I didn't see it. I
Yes.
just didn't see
You
it
didn't
like
see.
we normally do.
Yeah.
So I think it just might be just the times, or it might have just been a dry year,
A dry
a
year.
dry Father's Day. But
Yeah.
didn't see too much of it. Even speaking with family and friends, I didn't really hear like, oh, we're going out for Father's Day, or
Yeah.
we're going to go see our dad,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
we're going to. We didn't. I didn't hear or see too much
Too
of that.
much of that.
Nah.
Okay. And also too, guys, I want to make a little joke a little bit. You know my personality sometimes and my dry humor. I'm gonna say something. So on Father's Day, I did go out to Walmart to get my groceries and we met up at my mother's house with her husband, my stepfather. So that was fun. I felt like that was a good day. I don't know, something about that day, the air, the environment, the sun. It felt really good. There was no rain, no cloudiness, no gray skies or
It
anything like
was
that.
pretty
It
outside.
was very pretty. So I felt good already going out.
We cooked on our grill.
You could on your grill.
Yeah, my parents came up and kids, they was outside playing on a trampoline and hoses and stuff.
That's so fun. See, I like that kind of stuff. That's
Hmm.
fun. We had a very good time too.
Yeah, we just relaxed and ate.
Yeah, we relaxed and
Had
ate.
cookout food.
We had good food too. Oh my gosh, we had such good food.
Hmm.
Y'all know I'm trying to work on my body. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But I want to say something, y'all.
Hmm.
I got to lighten up in here a little bit. But why would I went to a shopping center, a very popular shopping center to get groceries? You know, they have clothes in there too, and all that other stuff, and everything you can imagine for your household. I won't say their name. Well, I saw some fine men out there. I know I'm gonna tell y'all. I said, "Oh my gosh, they are out here today on Father's Day." They came in the clusters. I said, "Oh my goodness! If I need to find me a man that day, I should have, y'all." I was looking. I was pushing my car. I said, "Gosh, damn, he looked good. He looked good too." So okay, y'all, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, let
You
me
could
get
have found
there.
your
I
potential.
gotta find my potential future child's father, husband, my husband. But I said they was out there on Father's Day.
You're crazy.
Let me find out maybe this year if I'm ready to settle down, if I'm not committed. Maybe I might
Mm.
gotta do that on that weekend and go see what's going on out there.
See
Because
where all the fathers
where the
at.
fathers at, because they was at that store. looking nice. But anyway, excuse me, y'all. Excuse me.
All right.
Yes. Okay. So we both agree. Yeah, that there's not enough recognition.
No.
Yeah, we both. And we've
Mm-mm.
been saying that earlier when we
Nah.
started
Nope.
this
It's
episode.
just not.
Yeah.
What makes a father? A
When,
biological father, a bonus father, father figures, mentors.
oh, okay. So the characteristics you described about a father
Mm-hmm.
earlier, that's what makes a father. If y'all caught on to him, provider, protector, leader, um, emotionally available, not
Yeah.
physically abusive,
Yeah.
not verbally or mentally abusive,
Mm-hmm.
um, constructive criticism, as I said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
wanting your child to be better than you. You know,
Absolutely.
I think that's very important.
That's what I that's one of my biggest goals. Like,
Yes.
I just want to instill so much positivity and
Mm-hmm.
importance into my children.
Yes. That they don't live the life that you
Mm-hmm.
live or make mistakes
Yeah.
that you made. You
Right.
want to prevent that from
Mm-hmm.
them.
Yep.
Okay. From that happening to them, I should
Yep.
say. Um, I agree with that. And there was something else with that, with the father thing. Hold on, y'all. I'm getting a little brain freeze right now. Um, he has to be ambitious. I think that's
Oh
important.
yeah.
I didn't mention that earlier, being very
When you
ambitious.
are a leader, you have to be ambitious.
Hmm. You have to be ambitious.
Yeah,
You
you have to know when you're a man and when you're a father. See, when it's yes,
uh-huh.
every man, even if he doesn't have children, he's some form of a father figure because
Uh-huh.
it's just instilled in us. But you have to know exactly who you are
Uh-huh.
when you become a father. You have to be fully aware. You may not have it figured
Figured out.
out,
Nobody has it.
but you got to have some type of
Something. Yes.
idea
Yes.
because you are the prime example.
Yes.
If you're going to be a present father, you have to be the prime example. And so you have to make sense of that.
Yes.
You have to. You have to go in it open minded, but also you have to walk in as a king. You have to walk in just
Your head held up
your head
high.
held up high.
Um, being able to take the battles that are going
Yes,
that
because
are
a
used
lot is
against you.
against you.
Yes, especially
Yes,
as a
thank
father,
you.
provider,
Thank you.
financial. That
Yes,
that financial system
yes,
plays a huge
yes,
part with the man, and he
yes,
feels less than a man if he can't financially take care of his family.
yes.
Am I correct on that?
Yep,
Okay, I see you nodding your
yep.
head, SeVen. I agree. Also, too, I remember your son. We'll make this relatable too on here. Your son. I remember one time you showed me a video that your son has sent you a video on social media about a good father that you are. This was
Yeah.
before Father's Day,
Hmm.
and I thought that was very touching.
Yeah,
I
he
said he's
actually
watching
he
you.
sent me one this year
He
too.
sent you
Yeah,
one
he
this year.
did. Yeah.
See, he's watching. So
Hmm.
even though maybe on Father's Day it wasn't so much like enthusiasm behind it. It was just like another day, kind of like dull
Hmm.
a little bit, but they
They showed
he
love.
showed you that before
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. And
My
that
daughter and my son both. They did their little. They did do videos on their TikToks. They did
they did okay.
about
That's
their
yeah, that's
dad. Yeah.
love. Yes,
Yeah.
that's love. Okay, they're
And you know
expressing
what?
their love.
Honestly, guys, I
Yeah.
take it back. It might have just been me
Oh,
because it was just
honey.
because it was love. It was love in the
Yeah.
house and all of that. I think I was just kind of like just I had a burnt out. Like I said, I just came
Yeah.
back from a
From vacation.
vacation and
Yep.
just so it could also be me, but I was grateful for the love. Love was definitely shown. It just
Yes.
wasn't like you said, real exciting and
Yeah.
enthusiastic like
Yes.
it normally is. But the love was definitely shown. So I'm not going to take that from them. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be selfish like that.
Yeah. And I remember
Yeah.
my father had told you, texted me to tell you happy Father's Day as well. You're quite the man, and he gave you, your props,
Thank you.
for you
Yeah.
being the father, what a
Yeah.
man, because we rarely see that. So
Yeah.
and I also like also too, sofa talkers. I like when men are able to salute or commend another man.
Absolutely.
That is
That's one thing
that's
I'm always going to
powerful.
do.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm always going to
You're
give
gonna
credit where it's
where's
due,
where's due. You
especially when I see a
salute that
man out there
person.
handling his
Yes, his
business.
business. You salute.
Absolutely.
We're in this together. I know how it feels, and you're handling it. Let's compliment that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give it where it's due.
Yep.
And y'all keep that in mind too. Do that too as
Yep.
well. Y'all do that too. I'm pointing to the screen like I'm talking to y'all.
Men need
That's how
support.
good this
Men
is.
need that
Yes,
support, and
yes,
fathers definitely,
yes. They need
definitely.
that support. 777. Where are we at now? Because we are getting good. We are getting deep into this conversation. Um, Biological fathers, obviously, they created the child, that
Mhm.
it wasn't from the sperm connecting with the egg. You know, that's
Mhm.
the DNA that's shared between the mother and the father. So we
Mhm.
know that's a biological father.
Mhm.
We know bonus fathers are like you, Seven. You are a
Yeah.
bonus father, a stepfather, a
Mhm.
bonus father. We like that word better.
Mhm.
You stepped up to the plate to take on kids,
I sure
being the
did.
father figure,
Mhm.
being a father for them or to them,
Mhm.
being a father. So you're in that category. Also, too, we have father figures. Like it could be an uncle,
Mhm.
it could be a godfather.
Mhm. I was a
That
godfather before
yes, you
a
were
father.
godfather before you were father.
Mhm.
So then you kind of learn how that,
Mhm.
you know, how the ropes go with parenting. That helps
Mhm.
you with your future parenting style
Mhm.
and things like that. So we have those kind of fathers. That could be a cousin, and usually it's uncle, cousin.
Mhm.
Um, my grandfather, I rest in peace to him. Rest in peace, granddaddy.
A
I
prime
still love
example
him.
of excellence.
Yes,
Black
black
excellence.
excellence, black
Mhm.
foreign excellence,
Yeah.
foreign man. He was like a father figure to me too. He played a very, very important part in my lives and my sister lives.
Yeah.
And to this day, rest in peace to him. He's been gone for over 10 years now.
Mhm.
I hold him in my heart dearly, and I think about him all the time, and I think about the memories and everything. So he's still with me.
Absolutely.
I thought about him the other day, and he's just a phenomenal man. So he was a father figure to me as well as a grandfather.
Yeah.
Excellent man, excellent man, excellent man. And I wish he was still here because I would love to talk to him about certain things, like about finances. Him and my grandmother, he was a provider. Um, he handled the business, had savings, and when he went to old age or got to old age, he mentioned we didn't have to want for nothing. You know, we
Mhm.
did our thing, and I wish I could have talked to him more because I'm an adult now, like to see the
Mhm.
path, to follow that path. That's an
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
you know, for generational type
Mhm.
of financials and things like that
Mhm.
for my future. So that's the only thing I regret was not talking to him about the foundation, the setup, and how he made big moves that he made,
Oh
and
yeah.
my grandmother.
Mhm.
But he also credit my grandmother for his success. And if it wasn't for her, he wouldn't have been where he was at, he mentioned to me.
Mhm.
So he's like, you know, she was a smart woman. So I mean, every man needs a good woman. You know,
Absolutely.
you need that good woman.
My I feel like I'll definitely I love my dad. I love my dad.
Yeah,
Always
I know you
always
do.
love my dad no matter what.
Yes.
He had his stuff and created broken homes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I still
Same
thanked
here.
him because when he was there, he
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
I got to experience my dad twice because coming up, and then him and my mom separated, and then you know
Recon-
the, they
reconnected
reconnected
and got
years
married.
later, and if anything, my dad's a phenomenal grandfather than
Yeah.
he was a dad, so
Yeah,
I'll take
that
that.
happened. That happened to my
I'll
grandfather.
take
That
that. But what
yes.
I will say is my
Yes.
bonus dad was the
Mm.
prime example of a
Of
man, a
mhm.
leader, a
Mhm. He
provider.
was. Rest in peace to him.
He passed
Mhm.
away
Rest in
in
peace to him.
2011,
Yep.
and he had his issues,
Yeah.
but the good in him
Mhm.
always
Outweighed.
outweighed the
Mhm.
bad. And
Mhm.
he showed me a lot, and I was able
He
to
loved you.
look at that and how you can love somebody's child that's not yours, how you can
Mhm.
take care of them,
Mhm.
how to
Mhm.
build a respectable
Mhm.
relationship.
Mhm.
Um, just guidance and a leader. He set me up.
Yep.
Um, Taught me pretty much how to be a man. My
Yeah.
dad was the
Ooh.
man the father was about the books.
Yeah.
My stepfather was about how you go out there and provide, make money.
Yes.
So I had some decent leadership from the guys that my father and my stepfather, my two male role models, they regardless of their shortcomings, they also set
So
examples for me also to what
yeah.
to do and what not to do. And I was able to articulate
Uh-huh.
and read between the lines and say, okay, that's the good, that's the bad.
Uh-huh.
And that I'll take note on that. I'll pick
Yeah.
up that, and then I may not pick up on that. But when it comes down to it, I'm able as a 38-year-old grown
Uh-huh.
man
Mhm.
able to look back at that. Regardless of what they've done or what they went through,
Mhm.
they still showed positivity in my life, and
Mm-mm.
those
Mm.
characteristics play in why,
How you are
how I
today.
am today,
Today.
and the father that I am today.
Yes. Also, too, speaking of stepfathers, my mom had gotten married twice after divorcing my father.
Mm-hmm.
And rest in peace to my second, my my first stepfather.
Yes.
Yeah, my first stepfather. I had to rethink about that.
Mm-hmm.
He had passed away also too. And at first, when he came into my mom's life, I didn't really care for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we
I
were going
remember.
through a time, you know, my father wasn't around. You know,
Mm-hmm.
divorce is usually hard with children. We were young,
Yeah.
so we don't understand. And the father's not around. There's new changes, a new man. So we kind of gave him a hard time. But, you know, through as time went on, he treated us like we were his own kids. He would say, "This is my daughter," you know, things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
there was one moment I remember I was telling my sister, the middle child, that's my best friend. We had a conversation a few weeks ago, and I was telling her I will always remember when I was a cheerleader. My mom was busy working, so she never got to see me do my cheerleading games.
Mm-hmm.
One day he showed up front row center on the bleachers,
Oh,
and my sister
wow.
started getting teary eyed when I told her, and I started to get teary eyed too. That meant a
Wow.
lot, you know.
Wow.
He stepped in for that, and I appreciate him for that because he didn't
Yeah.
have to do that. Then there was another time. I'm gonna be real with y'all. There's another time we had to do like a dance, a little dance, some type of dance for like our senior year at high school, and we did a dance performance. I'm sorry, and it was early in the morning. My mom had an attitude about going, but my stepfather, he was up, ready and eager and ready to support his stepdaughter. So I remember stuff like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that I would never forget, even in his death. And you know, he put us through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not me per se, but my mother, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I feel some kind of way about certain things, but I won't take the fact that he was a good person. I
Mm-hmm.
would never take that away from him, and a friendly person and a well likable person.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody liked him. So shout out to him for that, and shout out to him for showing up for me. That I still, you see, I'm touched by that. I can still reflect and talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
My new stepfather, I like him a lot. He's a very,
Mm-hmm.
very good man. He's a good man, a example of the characteristics that you listed about
Mm-hmm.
being a father. He has his own child. He has a son, and he has two grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I won't go into detail with that. It's kind of, there's some personal stuff with that, but I'm gonna leave that out. But he'd mentioned that, you know, he's thankful for my sisters and my nieces and my new baby nephew. He
Mm-hmm.
said, "I'm so grateful for y'all because I
Oh,
guess we make
wow.
up, you know, for
Yeah.
whatever's lost." And
Whatever's
he's
lost.
very, very grateful for us. He said, and I know that could be hard because you want the relationship with your son or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
your grandkids, because it's not, nothing's like a biological. Let's keep it
Biological.
real,
Yep.
y'all. As much as we're
Absolutely.
talking about it, it's nothing like your seed that you came
Mm-hmm.
from, and then their
Yeah.
offspring, which is your grandchildren or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess sometimes in life we have to, what we mentioned earlier, we have to appreciate the ones that are there for us, that are
That's
celebrating us,
right.
even the ones that could be blood that are not. You know,
Absolutely.
because that you're getting recognized and you're getting supported.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. But he's a very good man, a very, 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 very good man.
Okay,
Yep.
Savannah.
Okay. Yeah, he's a good man, Savannah. And then also too, I remember my baby sister, the third. Yeah, the third. You know, my baby sister who listens to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, girl, I know you listening. I remember before she mentioned, you know, having role model examples of good fathers. She mentioned you and my stepfather as one of them because
Oh.
you guys are the closest. Our father
Mm-hmm.
is in a different state, and we had you know, a little bit of issues and some complex, you know, things going on with him, but we're working on our
Y'all
relationship
working on it. That's
with
all
him.
matters.
We're working on it with him. He's trying to be the best man. You know, he got into some trouble. You know, I told you before during the October episode of Sofa Talk about the drug addiction. My father is he's still in recovery from
Mm-hmm.
drugs, and he was in some bad legal issues, so
Mm-hmm.
he's still fighting that as well. So you know, there's a
But he's
lot
doing
of
a good job making up.
yes, he's making up. Him
He's
and I
doing a great
talking.
job.
He sounds positive. He's trying to pick out who he wants in his life now, so that he doesn't resort back to that
Mm-hmm. He's making better
evil way of
decisions.
living,
Mm-hmm.
or a downward spiral to
Mm-hmm.
create an early demise for him. He's working on
Mm-hmm.
himself, and I'm proud of him. And I just want our bond and our relationships to grow stronger. And I want his bond and relationships to grow stronger with his other children outside of my sisters and
Mm-hmm.
myself, because he has other, you know, my dad was a, what is it, Papa was a rolling stone.
Mm-hmm.
He was breeding, you know, having all these kids everywhere, and has strange relationships with the last three sets.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can get that together. I don't know, he might be like your father, like fuck it, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. You never know what could happen.
Never
As long
know.
as we still are living here and have our
Yeah.
full state of mind,
Yeah.
we don't know what could happen. But yeah, there's things going on with that. But I'm going to skip this a little bit. And mentors make a good fathers. You know, they have the after school programs,
Yeah.
where you have the mentors. I'm not going to say their name on here, but you
Mm-hmm.
probably heard them. Very popular. They have mentors that, help the youth,
Mm-hmm.
especially the young boys and things like
I
that.
went to several after my parents when they first divorced,
Mm-hmm.
because I was in 7th grade.
Oh
So it
yeah,
was,
yeah,
yeah.
middle
I
school.
started in 6th grade, and I think I did 6th grade and 7th grade. But I tell you that helped also too during that time,
During the
having those
time.
mentors like that.
Did you consider them like father figures, or was it more so like a friend, like a coach?
They
Like,
were. It was like Big Brother, but they were
yeah,
figures.
they
So
were
I
they were
looked
fig-
up to them.
they,
Yeah, they
but
were role
role
models.
models. Yeah, I was
There
about
you
to
go.
say
Yeah,
that,
they're
role
role
models.
models.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they could play
Yep.
a part too,
Hmm.
especially when there's absent fathers.
Yes,
Okay,
it helps. It helps a lot.
yeah,
Because
okay.
at the time
I'm
I
glad
was
they
the
have
only
that.
child in the household,
Yeah.
so it definitely helped a lot.
So
Hmm.
why did your mom decide to have you go there? Was it because of the father, the divorce, and all that like that, or was
That
it?
the first time
Uh
they were
huh.
still together, it was more just get me off the video games, because I had lost my best
Oh,
friend.
child.
My best friend
Mm-hmm.
had died. He had got hit by a
Yes. Rest
car.
in peace to him.
So after
Damn.
that happened, I stayed in the house and I picked up a lot of
Yes.
weight. I was stuck on
Yes.
video games, eating. I
Yes.
stopped playing sports and all that.
Yes.
And so my mom got me into that. And so then that helped.
That's a good idea.
And then once her and my dad split,
Yeah.
me going to the program also kind of helped, because I had guidance with my schoolwork, and because my
Yes.
dad was the one that
Stuck to the
the
schoolwork.
schoolwork, and he
Yeah.
was
He
the
didn't play.
he didn't play with all that.
Yeah.
So that's where that kind of came into place at.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So you think mentors like that could be father figures, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm glad we're talking about this. Um, are we done with this before I go before I go on?
Yeah, we can
Anything?
go ahead.
Okay, because we got a lot. Okay. Um, who was the father figure that impacted your life the most? I would say my actual father. I would say he impacted my life, and I'm going to tell you the other one. My grandfather. My grandfather. I mentioned it earlier. How great of a man he was. How great of a grandfather he was. I remember when he died. Our childhood friend, who was the neighbors to my grandparents, at that time, at the state they were living in, she said, yeah, your grandfather was like your father, because your father was absent for a period of
Hmm.
time and had his issues or whatever,
Hmm.
but he was like a father to you all.
Hmm.
So I respect that. And then I have my the stepfathers I mentioned.
Hmm.
They're father figures. I would never exclude them. I'll never exclude them.
Yeah, mine was my dad and my stepfather.
You're done your stuff.
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, hey, that's what it is. It is what it is.
Hmm.
um Oh, can I say something too, a little bit that goes with this? So I remember a couple years ago, I was listening to Steve Harvey's morning show, and they had a topic or a letter that was written to them in reference. I think it was Steve Harvey. It was one of those guys. I want to say it might have been Steve, about a father who was upset because he raised his stepdaughter for so many years and she was getting married and she was going to walk down the aisle. The stepfather was going to pay for the wedding, with the mother and everything. He loved that stepdaughter or his daughter so much. The daughter decided that she wanted her father, her biological father, to walk her down the aisle. He felt some kind of way about that,
I would have
which
too.
I think he was like, I think I don't even put her through school, but he played a big part in her life, financial,
I saw
loved her,
something
everything like
similar like
that.
that too, where the young lady gave the
Uh-huh.
stepfather's gave her she took the stepfather's graduation ticket and gave it to her biological father, so the stepfather couldn't
Oh,
come.
that's messed up.
Yeah, I said I would have
Oh,
been
and he
livid,
raised.
and he
Oh
raised her.
no, you got to conclude him.
He
That's
raised
what I'm
her.
saying. But this, I'm glad I brought that up, and I'm glad you mentioned that too,
Yeah.
SeVen, because stuff like that happens. Um, Gentlemen, has that happened to you? I mean, has that happened to you or somebody you know?
And
Um,
how would you deal with
how would you
that?
deal with that? Women, are you torn between your actual biological father and picking your stepfather? That could happen too with you all. Because I
Hmm.
know you might be listening to us too, as well, ladies. I mean, what do you do in that situation?
Do,
They need acknowledgement too.
do you remember back in the day,
Hmm.
when the Kardashians, when Chloe had got married to Lamar,
Yeah.
and she wasn't going to, at the time
Ye-
she was Bruce,
yeah.
and she was going to have her brother walk her
Her
down
down the
instead of
aisle.
Bruce.
Yeah.
but then she ended up changing her mind, and
He
Bruce
should
walked her
have.
down.
He should have. I think he
Yeah,
should have.
he had
Yep.
every right
He had
to.
every right to. Yep. I think
Mm-hmm.
those things happen, y'all, with marriage and everything
Yeah,
like that. Of the stepchildren and
yeah,
the biological father and the stepfather. It happens and it gets really messy, and
it does.
stepfathers getting their feelings. Or it could be a situation too where the daughter might let's 360 this. The daughter, the stepdaughter might say, Dad wasn't around for my life. My stepfather walked me down. But then how would the actual biological father feel?
And if
Hey,
you know what, and if you love them both, have them both walk.
That's what I would do. Yeah, that's what I would do. If I don't do a private wedding with my man, just me and my man going away, or if he has a child.
God, here we go. My man. Here we go.
If he has a child, we'll include the children with us, and that would be it. Just us going to get married and his children included. If I don't do a big wedding, because y'all know I'm simplistic and simple at times. Simple-minded too sometimes. Simple-minded too sometimes, y'all. So then here we go. You know we love to talk about social media. So social media versus reality. Why does social media highlight deadbeat dads more than present dads? It does. They talk shit about those men on social media.
What they be saying about them?
What they be saying about them? Mm-hmm. They talk very bad about those men on social media. Mm-hmm. They talk so bad about those men on social media. You've seen it. You're on it. I'm not.
They
on
do.
It, they do. They bash those men. The children, the mothers. The mothers want on Father's Day. The mother says Happy Father's Day to me. And how y'all feel about that when the women do that?
And I'm so glad the fellas are coming on there and saying like, don't y'all women come on here and do that?
Happy Father's Day to me. I'm a single mother. I'm taking care of your children. Happy Father's Day. Do y'all think that's acceptable for women to do that, fellas? That they're claiming that they're the mother and father?
Everybody has their rights, but
just leave it gender neutral.
Just leave it alone.
Like,
just leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Okay.
Yeah, leave it alone.
The women want their credit too.
Yeah,
they
just
want
leave
their
it
flowers
alone.
too. They're being both the mom and the dad.
Yeah, you get your day, and everybody knows. We know.
And women, we're strong. We do that. We got it going on. But let me see. The fathers quietly showing up every day rarely go viral, and maybe that's why some of the guys on there say, "Fuck it, I don't need to go viral. I'm gonna post what's going on. I'm gonna post that I'm a good father. Yeah, they're gonna see what a good father is. Nobody tell me. I
love posting my children and activities with them, or them growing up, me with them. I'm always going to.
You always going to?
Yeah, and it's not for validation. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel good that I have the mindset, I have the strength, I have the power, I have the knowledge that it makes me feel good that I have chosen to be the man that I am and being the father that I am to my children. So I'm always going to celebrate fatherhood.
I know that's right.
I'm always going to celebrate.
As long as you're a father, as long as you're still on this earth, you're going to be celebrating, right?
Yep.
Yes. How does that shape the way we view fatherhood? That is true. Absent fathers, we mentioned deadbeat fathers. How does that shape the way we view fatherhood? I think
Can I ask a question? And I don't want to ruffle feathers. And I know we always kind of go into culture and all that because culture is a big thing.
It's true.
But
go ahead.
Do you feel like in the
Black,
I'll say minority community, are deadbeat fathers put out there more than, like, say, white people, Asian, something like that?
Good question. It is, let's say, I'm not going to say minority. We're going to say black men.
Call a spade a spade.
Yep, we're going to say black men. Yes, it is black men that are put out there more and ridiculed for that, for their absent, from them being absent. Absolutely. It's more black men. Because usually the Hispanic community, the Spanish community, Latino community,
they all stay together.
They all stay together. Asians, they are about family.
Yeah.
They don't play that.
Yeah.
So let's call it what it is. It's the black father. And we can say that.
Yeah.
We can definitely say that. You're right. I'm so glad you brought that up. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
So for talkers, men and women out there, what do y'all think? Is the black man, the father, that's the father, usually bashed more, talked very badly about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully we could do something better as a society when it comes to black fathers.
I agree.
Because when they're absent, they are absent from their kids' lives, and then their kids lead to a path of destruction
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have that father's guidance. And then what happens? There becomes jail time. There becomes hustling on the block.
Mm-hmm.
There becomes violence. They just don't live the best productive life they should
Mm-hmm.
because the father was gone. He couldn't teach him how to be a man. He had to figure it out on his own because, like they say, a woman can't teach a mother, or a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. It's usually what? The father.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's usually the father, which is true.
Very true.
Yep.
Why do we hear more about absent fathers than fathers who show up every single day?
Because again, as we keep on mentioning, the absent fathers are what? Absent.
Mm-hmm.
They're not there for their children.
But the sad part about it is that you hear
They're gonna
more
highlight
about
it.
of the negative than the
The
positive.
positive. Because I think in the real world, people are driven off of drama and negativity. We tune in, they go viral for that. They get engagement comments off of drama and negativity. And that's what we're used to, and that's what's to be expected. Right? Am I right on that?
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. But the ones that show up every single day, shout out to y'all. And the ones that show up every single day without needing a social media post, any validation, that you're doing it from the heart, that you're doing it for your kids who are the sole purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to y'all.
Yep.
Shout out to y'all. Now it's my time to give the daughter's perspective.
Take your time.
Okay, yep, I'm gonna take my time and give the daughter's perspective on father and fatherhood. What does a father teach a daughter? A father teaches a daughter how to love. I'm going to say that's important. With women, it comes to love. It teaches her how to love. That's very important for her to feel worthy. If it's a good father, make her feel worthy,
Mm-hmm.
valuable, not less than, not putting up with a man that is going to degrade her, devalue her, treat her not right, not with good morals.
I agree.
The father is going to put his daughter on a pedestal like she is a queen, a princess that can't be touched, and only certain men have access to her if they're privileged and qualified. That's what a father is going to teach a daughter.
I agree.
Okay, you agree with that, right? I got more to go. That's important. How does an absent father affect adulthood? Okay, the daughter might go around feeling abandoned. She might have attachment issues. She might have low self-esteem, low confidence. She may choose partners that aren't really good for her, but she thinks that is love.
Yeah.
Okay. There was, I wish I had this lady's name to give her the credit. I came across the video of her somehow, somewhere. A very pretty girl. She's a social media influencer, very beautiful girl. And I don't know her name, but I think she might have been connected with Rick Ross. I think he was trying to holler at her in her DMs or something. If you know what I mean, you might know this woman, very beautiful girl. She did a video where she was going to be transparent, or she was transparent, and she broke down in tears. So this is what she said. This goes back to the daughter's perspective and the father. She said her parents were married at one point in time. They divorced when she was a young age. They had I want to say, I don't know, was it joint custody, but they would take the daughter on, and then the mother would have the daughter, then she would go with her father. There was one day she was waiting for her father. He never showed up. He never showed up. And that was the end of it. So then she felt like her father abandoned her and he didn't love her. So then that impacted her with her future relationships as she's going to be in adulthood, as she's going to be an adult or entering adulthood. She said she came across some really excellent men, but she didn't think she was worthy because her own father didn't love her.
Yep.
Come to find out, which you mentioned earlier, it was her mother that fucked that up for that girl. And that fucked her mental. I hope she's getting therapy. That fucked her mental health up about love, self-love, love coming from the man, from the father. That fucked her up. She said, I met some good men, but I didn't feel I was worthy. And then she started busting out in tears. And she said, my mother, how dare my mother feel that she can dictate my relationship with my father, make me feel like he didn't love me. He wanted to be there, and now he's dead. And then she started crying. So she can't resolve that because he's gone now. So she could have talked to him and got a better understanding.
Yeah.
But that impacted her life with relationships, and she possibly lost out on good men
Because
because
of
of
that.
that, because that love from the father's love. And I remember too, Latoya Luckett, shout out to her, top-notch R&B singer. I'm gonna give you your flowers, girl. I remember I was watching her webinar or her web episode or something like that. It wasn't a webinar, it was a web episode she did with her father. And I remember she was talking about how she had her first relationship or her first love, and there was a first heartbreak with Slim Thug. And then she said it was a bad heartbreak. They ended the relationship. This is what she said. I went to the very first man who broke my heart.
Her dad.
Her dad.
Wow.
So this is the daughter's perspective, y'all. I'm bringing
Mhm.
these topics up. These are, I know they're
Mhm.
celebrities, whatever. We don't do celebrity topics, but this is talking some real shit about fatherhood and
Mhm.
daughters with their father relationships.
Yeah.
And I said, she tuned me in so well. That was deep. It wasn't fake. It was, and I see there was some kind of animosity and a little bit of tension still with her father. They're building on their bond. They're getting it back. But there was some type of maybe a little bit of feelings she's harboring or
Of
holding in,
course.
some
Of
a little bit of
course.
resentment. But she said that impacted her too
Mhm.
with that. So the father was her first heartbreak. And then coming back to the man that she loved, her first love, that true
Mhm.
love, was her other heartbreak.
Mhm.
So I think the fathers do play a role in that.
They do.
They have to
We
show
do.
love. What is
Mhm.
love, and how do we get a man to love us? How do we love a man? And the most important thing with a woman or a daughter, we have to know our self-worth.
Absolutely.
You know, we have to know. Don't
And
let no
that has to
man
be
tear you down,
instilled
abuse
in you
you
at a
at a
young
young age. And that
age.
comes from the father as well as the
The
mother. But I
mother.
think it's important for the father.
And kids are observant, so they see love in the house. They
Yeah, that
see
too.
daddy treating mommy good,
That's
mommy
what I want
treating
with
daddy
my
good.
husband. That's what I
Yeah,
want with my
that's
husband.
good.
That's what I'm aiming for with my future
Like my
husband.
kids, like me and my fiance, we will have like a little disagreement, and majority of the time when we argue is like we end up laughing,
Yeah.
and the kids are like, "Why are y'all arguing?" We're like, "We weren't even arguing. Like
Arguing.
we were just like."
Yeah.
And so we protect that. Like that's not for them to see.
Yeah.
It's not their business. They don't need to worry about what mommy and dad got going on. We have to set the example of love and leadership. That's the only thing.
You also said before too, this is off the record a little bit. You mentioned before too that when it comes to disciplining your daughters, even your stepdaughters, you don't mind doing it, but you don't want them to know this stuck with me when you said it. If I beat them, if I hurt them by beating them, they're going to get that from another man. That goes with the daughters. What I'm speaking about now, the daughter's perspective.
So
to allow abuse. I'm glad I brought that up.
Ever since they were little, even with my stepdaughters, because I didn't start disciplining them until maybe year 2 in. And mind you, one was 9 months old and the other one was 2 years old.
They were little.
And it was open discussion with their father, their mother. And I let it be known I'm a disciplinary. I don't tolerate this. I don't tolerate that. I would never hurt them, abuse them. And those girls are, one's going on 16, one's going on 14. That speaks volume. They will tell you today that I have never put them in harm's way or, of course, made them upset, but not made them feel any less or anything like that. But what I used to do is, my kids haven't got no ass whipping in so long. They need it though.
I'm for it.
But I used to tell them ever since they were little, and I don't even know where I got this from, but I started doing it. I told my kids why they were being disciplined. Because especially when you got girls.
The girls. And daughter's perspective. Go ahead.
And my stepdaughters also helped me learn how to be a father because they were my kids before I had my own biological.
Yes.
So
that usually happens.
With them, I didn't, you know how kids were brought up with step parents, like, oh, my stepmom or stepdad was nasty or they beat me or this and that, blah, blah, blah.
That's so fucked up.
So me coming in to play that role, I didn't want them to think, oh, he doesn't like me, he doesn't love me or anything like that. So when they used to get disciplined, I told them why they were disciplined. And I would ask them if they understood that. And they did.
Okay.
And so that kind of helped also build the relationship. So that big question mark wouldn't pop up in their head as they get older. why is he hard on me, or why is he does it? So majority of the time, and this is kind of a fuck up on me because I didn't want to spread division between my kids, all four of them.
Mhm.
When one got in trouble, they all got in trouble.
I agree. If
So it wouldn't be one of those, well,
it's your two, and then it's
against
us,
us.
our two, the sets.
Exactly.
We're the sets.
Right.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh,
Exactly.
uh-huh.
So even with my two biological children, that carried on to them. So when they did used to get disciplined, you know why daddy disciplined
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
You know why that
yeah.
happened? And that was that.
That's but I'm gonna say something too on that, because I feel that even with your biological kids, you don't play with them either.
Oh
Kids need to be in a
no.
kid's place and need to follow
Oh no, I
directions from
don't
the
play with
parents. I don't give
any
a fuck.
child.
Yeah.
I don't play
You
with
but I
any
see you with
child.
your children. I hear you with your
Oh yeah.
biological children. You don't play with
I don't
them.
play with them.
So I don't think it's favoritism
Not one
or
bit.
treating one the other
Mm-mm.
way. You don't
Mm-mm.
play with none of them,
No.
because kids are kids and they need to learn.
And they
They
need to
need
be
to
in a
learn and they
kid's
need to be
place.
respectful.
Absolutely.
That's what I say. I'm old school with that.
I don't play with nobody's kids.
You know,
None.
none.
Mm-mm.
Shit.
If they don't know how to act, don't bring them
Don't bring
around
exactly.
because they're
Um
gonna get checked.
point.
Mhm.
Can another man fill that role of a daughter's father being absent?
Absolutely.
He can fill that role, but there's going to always be a part of the daughter that's going to say, "Where's my father?
Of
Why
course.
not my
And
father?"
she's entitled to that. And
That's going
she
to
can have that
always
as
hit
long
her.
as she has that example of that father figure. And there's love, there's affection, there's
Hmm.
guidance,
He don't
and
hurt her.
he all the
Hmm.
things that makes a father or leader. Long she has that, she's gonna know the
Hmm.
love of a father. And it may not come from her biological, but there's a present man
Hmm.
that is a man that stepped in
Hmm. That showed her what a
and showed
father,
her
and
that.
that
So
is,
once she
yeah,
got that, she'll be good.
she'll be
She'll
good.
and that's the thing of when you come into adulthood, you're able to make sense because then,
Uh
and I
huh.
think me and you talked about it recently.
Uh
Now that
huh.
we're experiencing real adult
Yeah,
things,
we're
the things
adults.
that we saw coming up and heard,
Yes.
now it makes sense to us. But when we were
Uh
children,
huh.
it didn't make sense. So we thought this and thought that,
Uh
and
huh.
now we have a bigger, wider view of everything, and it kind of all comes in
Uh
together
huh.
why things were the way they were and why things may have happened.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Um, and that's part of growth. That's something that
Yes.
just happens with time, but you're able to sit back and reflect that. So, with that being said, like I said, the things that I've seen coming up, and having a stepfather and all that
Yeah.
stuff like that, um, I was able to, when I jumped into my relationship,
Uh
I was
huh.
able, because I remember the love that my stepfather had for me. And mind
Yes.
you,
Oh.
I
Mm.
was my stepfather had another child, but there was no
Yeah.
relationship with
Yeah.
that child
Yeah.
until later on. They didn't meet until
Yes.
years on. So
Yes.
I was technically his first
First
child.
child.
Then him and my mom had a child
Yeah.
3 years later, and
Yes.
then his biological child came to live with us like 4 years later.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
But the love that he had for me coming right on into our home, that's the type of love that I wanted to have for my oldest two stepdaughters. When
Hmm.
I came into that relationship with their mom, I knew it was a package deal.
Hmm.
I knew what I was getting myself into, and I
Hmm.
already knew how to love.
Because your
I
stepfather showed
because
you
I
that
had it
from a
from my
stepfather
stepfather.
perspective.
Absolutely.
Absolutely on that.
Because if I didn't have it, it would have been challenging for a while.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able. I probably wouldn't be able to navigate it the way I did in how I am now.
So he led by
He
example.
led by example.
There we go. There we go. He led by example. Um, okay, and seven, I'm glad where this topic is being brought up right now. This is the ending for this for my daughter's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Does the phrase daddy issues get used too casually? You mentioned to me, and I'm gonna keep it real for everybody. I'm not sugarcoating this. Remember, we
Mm-hmm.
keep it real. Seven thought I had daddy issues.
I
Yeah,
still
yeah,
do,
yeah. I went there. Seven thought I had daddy
and I
issues.
still do.
Why you think that, Seven? You could be honest. Tell them. Tell them.
I think you have daddy issues because of the men that you have chosen to date in the past.
Go ahead in more detail. Elaborate. Elaborate, son.
That's a long conversation. I don't know if I
Maybe
want to
another
go
episode.
another episode,
Okay, what
but
highlighting points?
okay. I feel like I felt like
Okay, this is
you
getting deep.
were
Go ahead.
maybe I could be saying it wrong now
Just
because
say, just
you
say it,
caught me
just say
off
it,
guard,
just say
but
it, just say
maybe
it.
you were looking for, I think you were
Uh-huh.
looking for how you wanted your father to treat you and how your grandfather treated you
Uh-huh.
in these guys, and they didn't.
Uh-huh.
And I think because they didn't, it caused issues in those relationships, I want to say.
Uh-huh.
And so that's why I called it daddy issues or whatever, because it's like if your dad was present during those times that you really needed him the most,
Yes. Okay.
I think you would have made better decisions in men,
Okay.
if I'm saying it right.
Okay, I got
Because you
you.
caught me off guard because we talk about this.
I want them to hear it
Yeah.
because we're
So
not
I think
sugarcoating
that's
it. I
why
want them to hear
I
it.
say it was a daddy issue, because the woman that you are and how you carry yourself, don't you typically wouldn't see a woman like you go for those type of guys, if it makes sense.
Okay.
And so that's how I knew that it was kind of like a daddy issue type of thing, because if daddy was there, he would have definitely said like, you're not dating that.
Uh-huh.
You're not going for that.
Uh-huh.
But I felt like you wanted those guys to have the qualities that your dad potentially could have had,
Uh-huh.
but definitely what your grandfather had, because he was top tier.
He was a he
Yeah,
was a stand-up model.
he was a stand-up model.
Okay.
And so I think you saw that, but I feel like you wasted your time. I felt like you was like you gave it time, especially with the last one. It was like, I'm hoping the next go around is going to get
Yeah,
better
giving
with him.
chances and
And
stuff, and it
stuff like
didn't.
that. And
And I
it
don't do that
didn't.
usually.
It
Yeah,
didn't.
it didn't.
Because I think a lot of women, if they have good experiences with their fathers, and the fathers were
Present.
present and phenomenal men,
Uh-huh.
that's the type of husband that they're going to look
Look for.
for,
Okay.
because they want to be treated how they. If a mother can tell their daughter or their son, your father was everything,
Yeah.
she's going to want that. And especially if she experienced it herself and
Uh-huh.
saw it with her own eyes, how daddy provided, daddy treated mommy like a queen.
Uh-huh.
You know, daddy was supportive, daddy was loving, daddy was kind,
Uh-huh.
daddy was present, whatever the case may be. All those, a young girl is going to look at that and be like, that's the type of
Listen
man
to
I
me.
want to marry.
Okay. I got two things with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got two things, maybe three things before you go into your son's perspective from your point of view. Okay. So when we hear about daddy issues, we hear usually when they say daddy issues, and I see this on YouTube sometimes, like of a young girl dates a man that is almost 20 years her senior.
Mm-hmm.
Then they say she's got daddy issues because she's dating a man. That's an example, y'all. I'm giving y'all know what I'm talking
I've
about.
heard of that.
You know,
Yeah,
she has
yeah,
daddy
yeah.
issues because she's dating a man that's her father's age, because maybe her father was not present in her life.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
that's one
That's
where
one.
daddy issues
Yeah.
are used. I don't know if that's used too loosely. Also, too, women tend to attract men that are like their fathers. So, what I tell you all before, my father, he is a complex man. My father has another side to him. He don't play.
Mm-hmm.
Legal, all that, drugs, all that, the bad boy, all that, the rebel, all that, outspoken, all that, tough, all that. I think I might have been, I'm going to keep it real with you all. Some of the men I was looking at
Had
were
those
like my
had those
father,
characteristics.
were like my father.
The last one, definitely.
Definitely. Oh, he reminded me, he kind of like my father. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted that. That's some creepy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that incest shit, but he kind of looked like him and kind of acted like him. Same zodiac sign and all, like my dad. It's crazy. But so it didn't work though, obviously, because he would be my husband right now.
Yeah.
You know, but so I guess women do attract men that are like their fathers. I don't know if that's called daddy issues, especially if you know the way your father is moving isn't right or what you would want in a man. I had to hit it there. I'm not gonna
It's funny you
sugarcoat
say that. My
You
sisters
gotta
don't
break
listen.
from that.
My sisters don't listen to this podcast, so I can definitely say it.
Go ahead.
But their boyfriends and husbands is everything that my dad was in his time.
Oh shit. Okay, so am I right though? Women track. My sister said this
It's
too to me.
true.
Women are attracting men like their father.
And they stick and stay. And my mom always
That's
says,
deep.
your
Deep.
sisters are old fashioned like their mom, because their
Yeah.
mom was a one man's woman. How you say one lady's man or
Yeah,
one
something
woman's
like
man
that.
or something
Y'all
like
get it.
that.
Yeah.
So
She's for one man.
after my dad, that was it for her.
Wow.
And if
Talk about
all
strength.
and he made me in his marriage
Yeah,
and all
yep,
that stuff like
yep,
that. It's a long story talk
yep,
so for talker, so I'm not gonna go there, but y'all
yeah,
put it together.
yep.
I was his love child,
That's
and
right.
she still was going to keep let him come back home if he wanted to come back
Oh,
home.
she left that door open.
She left that door
Shit,
open.
power to
And so
her. I
my
couldn't do it.
sisters are the same way. They're old fashioned. They don't sleep around.
Mhm.
They go
That's
through
how
the
I am
motion with their
too.
men.
Mhm.
I love him. I accept it for who he is.
Yeah,
They'll tolerate
but
it.
so there was some truth that
So
women are
it is
choosing.
it
So women are choosing.
now that we're talking about
I'm glad I
I
brought it
looked
up.
at
I'm
that.
glad I
That's
brought it
very,
the
very
daddy
true.
perspective. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad I
the
brought it
truth.
up. Yep. I'm
It's
glad
the
I brought
truth.
it up. So
It's
do
the
you think
truth.
that women in that situation, like your sisters and I, and it could be my sisters too, should we attract men that are, because we love our fathers. Remember, when we love our fathers, we see them
Mm-hmm.
unconditional, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what they do, legal trouble, drug issues,
Yeah.
how they act, that bad boy, that tough guy. We
Mm-hmm.
still love them because that's our father. We
Mm-hmm.
come from him. Do you think, and I don't know, would the father get offended if you said, Daddy or Dad, I don't want a man like you? That is deep, y'all.
That's deep.
That is deep.
That's
I
very,
don't
very
want
deep.
to, that's all I know though. But
Mm-hmm.
I know that's not going to be for me because the men I'm picking that are like you are not good for me. Do you
Exactly.
get what I'm saying?
I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
And if your
And that's a
dad's
cycle you got to
and if your
break.
dad's a real man, he will respect
You
that
respect that.
because he knows his flaws and all. So he will be able to sit back like, yeah. Because a real man, if I know I ain't been shit, or if I know I've been a wild one, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit there and see my daughter date somebody that's just like me or did the things that I did and say and co-sign that. I would
Okay.
never
You would
as a
never,
man. I
okay.
would never
You would never
co-sign
as a me.
that.
Okay. Okay.
If anything, I would talk to him like, I see a lot of me and you
Yeah. Yeah.
from my
Yeah.
past,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's good for my
That's good for
daughter.
my daughter. But do you think some fathers, because a lot of times those fathers are kind of blindsided and they feel that there's nothing wrong with them, especially if they didn't get mental health treatment,
It
they didn't get
depends. It
treatment.
depends on the father,
He may feel
him as a
there's
man.
nothing wrong with me. So what do you mean you dating men? He might get offended. There we go. He might get
But
offended
the
by
thing about
that.
us men, it's okay what we do. It's just not okay for others to do it. So you got to think about
Oh
that also too.
goodness.
That's how that's how we play the game. That's
Okay.
how us men are. That's just how we are.
Okay.
That's at nature. Like how
Ugh.
many men, like to get off
Mm-hmm.
subject real quick, guys. Okay, like say if a guy cheats on the girl 90% of the time she's gonna let him come back, right? She's gonna
Yeah,
give him a couple
women
chances,
do
right?
that. We're really
Y'all women do
forgiving.
that,
Yeah,
right?
we're forgiving.
But if a woman cheats on the man,
Oh,
it's the
that's
end
the
of the
end.
world. Y'all don't do
Yep.
that. You
Because y'all can't
this, you
handle
do
it.
that.
Because y'all men can't
You
handle
get
it.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's why I said that, like with something like that, even as a man, and if you're a real man,
Uh-huh.
honestly, you'll be able to peep that and be like, nah,
You want the best for the
I
daughter,
want the best for my
even if
daughter.
I'm not being
Yeah,
the best example
yeah.
for a man that she could
Yep,
have.
I don't
I
want
want
that
the
for my
best for her.
daughter. And of
Okay.
course, she's going to
Shout
fight it
out to the
because then
real
she's
men
going
for
to
that.
throw his past up in his face. It don't matter. You're my child, and I want the
Yeah.
best for you. That wasn't the best version of me, and I wouldn't want you to go do what I put your mother through or anything like that. Also, too,
Oh,
a
I
real
forgot about
man
the
would say that
mothers.
if you saw what I put your mom through and you saw what mom tolerated, do you want to go through that?
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh
Mm-hmm.
shit. Okay. This is getting good, y'all. I told y'all
Absolutely.
this is getting good. Okay. So does daddy issues, that phrase, get used too casually?
To a certain extent, yeah,
Okay. I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Okay.
It does. Different strokes for different folks, honestly, because everybody has their reason.
And we have different daddy issues, like how
And
we broke it
everybody,
down.
it's all
We
different.
there's so many we broke it
It's all
down.
different.
So we just broke it down.
I'm going to give
The son's perspective?
the son's perspective, my
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
Um, learning how to become a man.
You mentioned that earlier.
I mentioned that earlier. I had examples. And then I also had strong women too. See, I was raised around a lot of women. There's a lot of women in my family. I tell y'all all the time. I have a whole bunch of female friends.
I'm one, and my
Um,
sisters. Mhm.
I had aunts that
Mhm. Mhm.
were my grandmother. They they knew how to operate without a man.
Yes,
They knew
yes,
how
yes,
to be
yes,
the woman in the man.
yes, yes.
My grandmother taught me how to change tires.
I
like
know.
all
And you
like
know your car shit
and
too.
all types of stuff.
He knows
So
his car shit,
I
y'all.
had a
He
lot of
knows his
examples,
shit.
but I also had
Uh-huh.
seen a lot of strength from the women that were also around me too, because they may have had strong men or
Yeah.
been had to learn
Uh-huh.
or their fathers and
That I
stuff
was
like
gonna say
that.
that.
Because like I said, there wasn't a lot of male role models, and
Uh-huh.
some of them with drug deals and stuff like that. They
Yeah.
showed love and all that. I had
Yeah.
cousins, uncles, all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my stepfather, I'm giving him
Mm.
number one credit, and may he
Yes.
rest in peace.
Rest in
And
peace.
my dad showed me, how to how important the books were.
Uh-huh.
My dad, even though he was outside
Yeah.
and
Outside.
created broken homes and
Mm-hmm.
did his thing, he also showed me how to love women, because my dad is a, what's the word you call for men like him? He's a romantic.
Oh,
Uh
he has charisma
he has
too.
charisma,
Yeah.
and
That
he
man
knows how to treat
it swoon the
women,
woman,
and yeah, and
right?
swoop them off their feet and all that
Yes.
stuff. He's
That's good.
real smooth and jazzy. So I
Smooth
learned
operator.
that from him. I learned respect from him because he is
Mhm.
respectful.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Hardworking too.
very, yeah,
Very
he's
hardworking.
hardworking. So I got that, and then but with my stepfather, I just saw more of strength. I
Yeah.
saw what my stepfather came in and told my mom she didn't have to work anymore.
Shoot.
My grandmother had
Golden
got
ticket.
sick, and we
Mm,
all used to live in the same community
yeah.
together. And my mom and stepdad got a house, took my grandmother in.
That's a real man. Took the
Um,
woman's mother
and
in.
my mom didn't have to work. My
Yep.
grandmother didn't work,
Yep.
and
That's
he
a
took
good
care of
man.
all of us. Um, we were financially
Yep.
stable.
He got you
Um,
clothing you needed. Not that it
I
matters, but we
went
do need clothes,
always
especially
had
as
top of
teenagers.
the line
Yep.
clothes and sneakers.
Yep.
He paid for driver's ed.
Yep.
He bought my first car.
Yes.
Um, the only thing that he would stay in my butt about was respect when it came to my mother. Don't disrespect your
As
mother,
he should.
as he
That's
should.
his woman.
Um,
Mm-hmm. You're a
but
child.
I wasn't. I say I was rebellious, but it wasn't. It wasn't in the household where I really did give them problems like
Uh-huh.
that. So my stepfather really never had to check me, maybe once, and it wasn't
Okay.
even like that. But he was just an example of just a leader. And like I said before, he had his flaws and all. And I mean, his flaws were rough. He fought some serious demons,
Oh
but he
yeah.
showed me how to still, regardless what you got going on, you go out there, you
Yes.
take care of your family, you
Yes.
love, you be kind. And
Yes.
the other thing about him was family unity. He loved
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
family.
He
He
loved his
loved
family too.
family.
His family.
And they had a very, very large family.
Yep.
And he just wanted always everybody to always be together. So
Yes.
that was another thing I admired. I
Yeah,
just
that's
admired
yeah, that
his
don't happen
strength.
anymore.
Just all of that. So my dad and stepfather both played their roles, and I don't think I would be the man I am today without my experience with my father and stepfather.
Yeah.
And then also I'm definitely going to give my mom, my grandmother, and my aunts
Some credit on
some credit
there.
on it.
Yeah.
I had a village, and then I had like your mom. She
Oh
worked.
yeah.
She was a realist. That's what I always appreciate about her. She was a realist also
Shout out to my
too.
mother.
Always always gave me word, and I was always the only boy around all the girls, but always said certain things, and I took heed to it.
Tell them what did she tell you when you enter fatherhood?
So when right before I entered the fatherhood, she had told me, I ran into her, and she had told me, she was like, um, oh my god, now I'm having a brain fart. She told
Uh-huh.
me,
Uh-huh.
don't she didn't want me to get caught up into fatherhood and lose myself like y'all dad did.
That was deep. And I
And
said she never
meaning,
told us
because
that.
it's a lot of pressure behind becoming a father.
Yes.
And I guess your dad might have went through some stuff and trying to make
Uh-huh.
sure everything was right
Being
and
the man,
everybody's
taking all that.
approval
Yep.
and taking on responsibility
Having
and making
kids.
sure your wife and kids and all that. And
Yes.
she didn't want me to get caught up in it where I lost myself, because I was like fun, energetic,
Yes. Yeah. We all
and
knew that.
and had things going on for myself and stuff like that. So she didn't want that part, wanted me to lose a part of that just because I could still be me and still be a great father.
Yes.
And I appreciated that. And it's been
to this day,
it's still to this day, I still talk about it.
And I was like, she never told us that.
She sure did.
With my father. So I was like, oh, really? She told you? So that must have been something that
she told me that
you needed to hear.
Yeah.
I thought, and you still,
I needed that.
Stuck with you. Yeah.
It stuck with me. It's been
to this day.
13 years
now.
Damn.
Still in the memory bank.
Absolutely. Learning responsibility. Once again, we talked about that. My parents, when they were the first time they were together, they did everything together. So I saw how that worked. A husband and wife, pay their bills, responsibility, take care of home together.
Work as a team.
And then I also saw where my stepfather said, I'll take care of it all. and don't worry about the team. I got it. Y'all good. So I had that. I saw independence from my aunts. My aunt, my aunt, she worked 3 jobs and she had a man there. My uncle, and she worked 3 jobs and she worked for everything. She never asked for anything. Her boys had nothing but the best. So I saw her strength. I think that's where I got a lot of my work ethic from, because I started working early also too. And I saw my grandmother's strength. My grandmother was everything to me. You can never tell me nothing bad about her. Just something about her. I just never met and this was my mother's mother. She passed away in 2009 too. But she was everything to me. I had the best grandmother ever. I don't care what nobody says. She was everything to me. So I had a lot of example. And as you guys see, we're talking about the Father's Day and fathers and men in general.
Yeah.
But women also play a part in some of these men's lives too.
And to make them a father.
To make them a father and make them a good man.
And encourage them.
And encourage. Yes.
Yep, you need
because behind every good man, there's a good woman. Behind every good woman, there's a good man.
Clap, clap, clap.
So I'm going to give credit where it's due in both of those areas, because I had examples.
Yes.
I had examples.
Yes. Learning emotional intelligence. Huh. Your dad, I think, was part of. Well, I don't know, because he's not.
I got my emotional intelligence from my mother. My mother is very vocal.
Yes.
Very emotional.
Okay.
Very strong, very outspoken.
Yes, she is.
And I got that from her.
Okay.
Because my dad's quiet. He keeps everything in.
So the quiet father.
Okay. My stepfather was very vocal too, but we didn't connect on the emotional part that deep. But I've seen him cry. He spoke to me and, broke things down to me and stuff like that.
What about your uncles? You had a close uncle too.
No.
Okay.
Nah.
Oh wow. Okay. Because they could play a role too.
It was definitely my mother.
Okay.
When it came to emotional intelligence. And then when you have a lot of females around you, you're able to tap into those, because when you mainly when you are around men all the time, you really don't get to tap into the emotional
Y'all put
state.
That aside.
You gotta be tough, rough, sports, no crying, no crying, none of that. So with the village of female friends that I had and their moms, or the village of my family, and all that, that's where I got a lot of my emotional intelligence from.
Deep. Thank you for that, and being honest about that.
Absolutely.
That's deep.
Breaking generational cycles and unhealthy ideas of masculinity.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Okay, go ahead. I'm so glad.
With that one,
this is good.
With that one, that's deep, you guys. Breaking generational cycles was no problem for me. I knew right off the bat, once I became an adult, there was things that I wasn't going to do. There was things that I was going to do. I experiment with young adult life to find who I was, where I was going in life, and have fun. But I wasn't a young man that was going to blame anybody or point the finger of any of my shortcomings or any of my fuck ups. Oh, this is my dad's fault because he did this, or oh, this is my mom's fault.
Okay.
So I was definitely able at a young age, as a young adult, to articulate the things that happened around me and be able to finger point what I want to do, what I'm not going to do, what makes sense, what does make sense. That wasn't a problem for me.
So what? Here's a question I was going to
Yeah,
ask
sure.
before you go on to that. What generational cycles did you want to break from your father or stepfather, because they played a pivotal part in your
Mm,
lives? What?
broken homes,
Okay.
alcoholism, drugs,
Yep. Hits both of us.
jail.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh. Anything
mm,
else?
maybe some type of form of abuse
Uh-huh.
to women.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um,
This is deep.
I didn't want to be how my dad was with his children. I would have been
Mm.
a stand up man when it came to that whole situation about his ex and his children.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't have let that slide.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
I wasn't going to be like, if me and my woman broke up today or tomorrow, I'm not going to allow you to keep me from my kids, no matter what we may be
Oh
done.
shit.
But
Okay.
because we're done, me and my
Okay.
children not done, and
Okay.
I'm not going to allow you to just push me out because you're mad at me or it didn't work out between us.
Okay.
Um,
This is
so I
good.
would
This is
be
good.
more of a stand-up man. There were
What about emotionally? I know you, because you're a talker. You're smart. I like talking to you. You provide the emotional connection with your son and your children also. You talk to them on different levels to get inside their head
so
to see where they come from. Do you think that, or am I thinking something
I
different?
had a little bit of it. Yeah, I had a little bit. My dad wasn't the big talker, but he listened. And my
Active
stepfather
listener,
listened too. So
active
that
listeners,
allowed me to be
a listening ear, and
well, no, it allowed me to express those emotional feelings, or when I would feel in a certain way,
uh-huh.
I had those spaces with those men to be able to be emotional and open up myself and not feel less than a young boy or less than a
Okay.
young man because I'm feeling some type of way. They were there during my depression episodes. They were there
Oh, I
during my
remember. I
anxiety,
was
my
there for
panic
that. I
attacks.
remember.
And it wasn't like toughen up, man up, or none of that.
Oh,
I didn't get none of that.
okay, that goes with the masculinity thing. It's
Yeah.
toughen up, man up.
Yeah.
So with your son, your father, he's gonna be a future father one
Yep.
day.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we? Okay, shit. What am I trying to say, y'all? Damn, I'm getting at my brain freezing because I got so much thoughts going through and trying to stay on these topics.
Mm-hmm.
So with breaking generational cycles with your son, and you mentioned earlier that you didn't get emotional intelligence from the men in your life. How could you do that for your son, who's going to be a father, so you could break that
because
that
I
cycle?
because
That's
I
it.
was able to articulate that, and that was something that I knew at a young age that
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't put out there like that, and that's something that I wanted. And like I said, I also made the
Mm-hmm.
choice. If you heard what I just said, I made the choice to open up those areas with those two men myself, and they allowed it. So
Okay.
even though they may have not been emotional
Given the emotional intelligence.
given the emotional intelligence, they allowed me to have it. And
Okay.
maybe that opened something into them because they didn't bypass it.
They
They listened,
validated.
they
They validated
validated
it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how that was. So with that, and me learning that that was one of those things that I took on at a young age. So with my kids,
Uh
that's a
huh.
walk in the park when it comes to my children.
Because you speak very well and you're very vocal and you listen, so you have
Yeah.
all three, like
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
qualities. Yeah.
I do put the tough card on my son a little bit because he has three sisters and he's spoiled and he's the
Uh
youngest.
huh.
So I do get a little tough with him, but when it comes to him being emotional, it ain't no suck it up, or if he's having
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't do none of that. I allow my kids to vent. I allow them to
Yes.
be open, express themselves, be who they are, and all of that. And I got that receiving coming up. That was not one of the doors that was shut in my face. So
Okay.
I was I'm very much able and capable of giving that to my kids because that wasn't an issue for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you mentioned something else. I'm sorry, my microphone was away from me. I'm getting too much into this. Um, the unhealthy ideas of masculinity. The whole thing you mentioned about toughening up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Toughening up.
It's
Um,
unhealthy, and certain things has to be worded and done a certain way because
mhm.
men, you don't want your sons to grow up and not be able to be emotionally intelligent. You don't
Mm.
want that for your
Or
sons.
holding their
Or
emotions
holding their
in.
that's why there's
The-
so many suicides and
anger, anger,
anger issues,
anger, lashing out.
drug abuses,
Yes,
alcohol abuses,
yes,
all that stuff
yes. Men are
because
not
these
able to be
young
vocal.
men were not able to be vocal
Yep.
and express their their feelings. They
Their
weren't their
pain.
pain. They had to shut up and be tough and suck it
Yep,
up.
that's sad. That is sad.
So I don't push that on any of my children, even my daughters. I allow everybody. I like when people are able to let it out, express themselves. That's how you get to understand it in the real people.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to talk to people that have a facade
Uh-huh.
or
Uh-huh.
not really being the real authentic selves. You
Uh-huh.
don't want to talk to
Uh-huh.
people like that because you'll never know the real them.
That's true.
So if you allow that open space at a young age, you will always know
Uh-huh.
who you talking to and who you dealing with. Because then you sit back, that's the person I raised.
Yes.
Because you hear so many times like, I don't know who this person is. Who
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you?
You're from me?
Yeah,
You're from me? You're
yeah.
not from me. um no, okay, this is getting good. So, okay, so you said you don't want to worry about that phrase, man up, be vulnerable, talk your emotions, and you think that's considered like a healing with
I think so,
for your mental
especially at
health
a young
too?
age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It heals
So
you.
you don't hold stuff in.
Yeah. And be comfortable to
Because
talk to
because
people.
all that hold in at a young age will catch up with
And
you.
it gives anxiety, depression, like you
It
said,
sure
suicidal
does.
thoughts. You feel like you're not worthy of
It
living.
sure
Nobody
does.
loves you. Things like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, so we mentioned earlier who taught you how to be a man, and we got the biggest people is your father and your stepfather. Your father and stepfather had taught you to be a man. So that's something that's very important. Also too, this is like a little from aside from that. I know when you entered fatherhood the first time, you mentioned this to the podcast before, but in case we have new listeners, you mentioned that you had like a mental breakdown.
Oh my God.
I think
Yeah.
that's important to discuss again for the ones who didn't hear the other podcast
Mm-hmm.
episode when you entered fatherhood. And then you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that uh, fathers also experiences, everybody puts emphasis on mothers going through postpartum and
Postpartum.
their mental health, their emotional, but fathers also get hit hard
That was
too.
my second time in I entered mental health. I
Mm-hmm.
went to a session because I did not understand that overwhelmed feeling that came over me. And it was scary. I was emotional. I was financially prepared to
Mm-hmm.
be a dad. My kid had everything. I worked and everything. Mommy was happy and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then when she got there and after she came out, I just freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
stayed there. I went through the whole motion. We got home and all that. And once we got home, that's when it set in like, you're a dad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I left my house for a day and a half.
What were your thoughts when you were saying that you are a dad?
I can't
What
do this. That's what I was thinking. Like, I can't do this. What am
uh-huh.
I doing?
Uh-huh.
Because and at the time, all that happened so fast. Like me and my girl, we met so quick, and
Yeah, the
it
pregnancy.
literally all happened within 10 months.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I was living a fast paced
Single life.
single bachelor
Single
life.
life.
I was having a time of my life, and it
Yeah,
just caught me off
big
guard,
change.
and it was big. And so I just had to readjust and readapt, but it was scary. So when I talked to the therapist about it, he was like, have you heard of postpartum depression? I was like, yeah. He was like, men don't talk about it and it's not a thing, but he said men go through it
Oh,
and that's what it
y'all heard that,
is.
fellas? Have
He said
y'all been
men
through
go
that?
through it. Now, granted,
Someone
I
you
didn't want
know?
to, harm my child or anything like that, but it was like I was
Your
scared.
own
It was
emotions,
my own
your
emotions. Like I
mental
didn't want to
health.
pick her up for a while. I was just kind of like just weird.
Uh-huh.
Like one day, her mom had left, and I think her mom went somewhere, and I had sat her on the couch, and I just laid her there, and I sat on the other, and I just kept looking at her
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that's my kid, like
Yes.
just freaking
Yes.
out.
Yes.
And I would call my friends over just because that made me feel safe. Or if
Uh-huh.
the older two girls were home because I knew them and had them already, I
Yeah.
felt safe.
Yeah.
And then within a couple months and just support in my village, I mean, I got through it quick.
You
I got through it quick,
what was your
but it was
healing
scary.
what was your healing mechanism that helped you with that?
Praying, um, number one, praying, my village,
That support system from them?
my woman, because she didn't get upset with me.
Uh-huh.
She
But there was can I mention this though? So there was a point of time though you did not, I'm not gonna say you ran away, but you did step out the house for a little bit of time, right? You went with one of your friends, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you went with one of your friends, you stepped out. There was a point in time where you stepped out. But did you feel like you'll be one of those black fathers that when you were going through that, what we mentioned earlier, good topic. Did you feel like you didn't want to be one of the Black fathers that disappear from your child's
No,
life?
I wasn't. I wasn't. I
Okay.
wasn't going to run from my responsibility. And I wasn't running from her. I knew what I got myself into. I had to get me together.
So when you separated yourself from that house for that temporary time, that was just for you to have
And
your
guys,
mental health.
we're literally talking about a day and a half, maybe 2 days the max. This
Okay,
wasn't
thank
no
you for the clear.
weeks or months. I left
Okay.
my newborn or
Yeah,
anything. This was
yeah.
literally, we were already home, settled
Okay.
in our home.
Yes.
And my fiance had her sisters and her family support. They were all there because she has a
Yeah.
big family.
Yes, she
So they
does.
allowed me, because she already had kids, already had
Mm.
herself
She's
set.
that's not new.
So they
Sorry.
allowed me to get it together.
And that you were allowed to step out from
and,
that.
and I wasn't ridiculed. I wasn't
Okay,
beat
yep.
down
Yep.
or any of that. And I came back home. And the support that I got was, you can do this.
Did it
You're gonna be an amazing father. Ain't nobody tell me to run from my mistakes. Everybody
Yeah.
what understood where I was coming from. They respected how I was feeling because
Yeah.
they knew me. They knew that
Yes.
this was all new to me.
Yes.
They also knew that I was emotional person. They knew
Yeah.
that I spoke to them, and that's why they were able to understand, because
Where
they
you were
knew
coming
all these
from.
sides of me. So I had full on support.
I remember there was one time that you had one friend that said, "Man," remember that
He did.
masculinity thing. Remember we talked
Yeah.
about masculinity.
Hmm.
He told you to man up.
He did.
And you mentioned before on the podcast, but hearing
Because
that word man up again,
he
remember?
wasn't he was one because he was a young father too, and I saw
Mm-hmm.
him go through certain things too. And so when he said that, and I saw, he said it kind of caught me off guard, and I was upset because I'm like, well, damn, give me a little bit of sympathy. But I understood, because now it's no longer about you. You're your child.
The
Now it's
priority.
one thing, it's all good, bro, da 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 da. But when it comes to a child, you can't. You got
Okay.
to stand up, and
Okay.
you have to be that leader. This is what you signed up for.
Yeah.
You got to do it, bro. And so after I was able to grow,
Uh-huh.
understand,
Uh-huh.
and really get into my fatherhood, it made
It
sense.
made sense.
But when he first said, I was like, damn, yo, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I never really had a whole bunch of homies that had
Yeah, yeah,
kids.
yeah.
I always had the female friends that had the
Yes,
children
yes,
already.
yes.
So it was a little different. But I took on what everybody else was saying. I had so much support.
So the support.
The support
Okay,
and
that
prayer,
matters,
man.
that for the
The
healing.
support and prayer got me through that. And so when my second child came, I was ready,
Yeah,
because
you're
it
prepared.
was one thing with your stepkids, right?
Yeah,
But then when
yeah.
you have your own, it's
From
like,
you.
okay, this is mine, and
Yes,
I
yes.
just had to really pull it together. And I took out less than 48 hours, y'all, I was back home. I wasn't going to run. I wasn't going to leave her, but I had to go and get my mental together.
Yeah,
And that's what
process
I
it.
did. And she gave me grace. I apologized to her. I apologized to her about it not too long ago. We was talking about some old shit. And I just told her, I said, I thank you. And I said, I'm sorry
Mhm.
for that moment, because,
Mhm.
a woman giving birth, y'all hormonal, y'all going through so many things, and then to
Oh.
see y'all come home to start your family, then
Oh.
he walks out the door. I can imagine what was going through your mind also too. But I told her
Mhm.
I just admired her strength, and I
Mhm.
thanked her for giving me that moment to pull it together.
Mhm.
And we've been together ever
Still
since.
hanging on.
We're still hanging
You're
on.
still hanging in there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, y'all. That was a little side conversation. I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we keep it real in
Yeah.
here and relatable and raw. So
Absolutely.
that's what we do. Um, I think you're going to mention some things here too.
Oh, okay. So let me see. Legacy over perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Can you become a great father even if you never had one?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question.
I
You
I say
you because
yes.
you're gonna do opposite of what
Most. Not
not
everybody,
everybody,
but most.
but
You're going to try to beat the
you're
odds.
gonna beat the odds. What if you didn't have a father figure around to show you how to be a father? How could you become a father?
You know what?
Good question.
Let me go here. Me and my other home girl I'm
Mm-hmm.
close to. She's the bestie. You might as well call her bestie.
Mm-hmm.
And me and her were talking about, because she's still considered a new mom. She has 2 kids now too. and she had hers later on. And I said to her, we were talking about parenting, and we just said, there's no rule books to this shit.
Mhm.
There's no rules to how we are, how
Mhm.
we parent, what we know, what we were taught. There's really no breakdowns. We just have examples. You can follow them or you don't have to
Mhm.
follow them.
Mhm.
You can do it your own way when it comes to how you become a parent, how you
Mhm.
become a woman, how you become a man.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's having that common sense.
Okay.
It's knowing who you
True,
are,
true.
having a good heart, having a good spirit.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have a father or didn't have a male role model in your life, but
Yeah.
you want to become a father because you have so much love in your heart that you want to give to a child, you're going to be that good dad anyway, because that's what
Okay.
you wanted. It's a difference if you don't want it and then when you do want it.
Okay.
Because the ones that don't want it and just get caught up,
Uh-huh.
those are most likely the ones that aren't good fathers. They're
Okay,
not.
they're not.
But and then it doesn't help if they didn't have good fathers or good examples or leaders around them. But a
Yeah.
man that may not got any of that but wants that for himself, he's going to do his best when it comes to that.
How will he learn it though? If he didn't have an example or influence?
It all starts with love. It all starts with love. It starts with you. If you know you're a good person and you have love in your heart, that's going to make you're a good person right because of that. If you're a good
Okay.
person and you have love to
Okay.
give,
Okay.
you're going to be able to walk into fatherhood with no problem. If
Okay.
your finances are okay or whatever the case may be,
You're
and it's not even,
stable.
or you're just stable. Let's not even go about money because everybody's
Yeah.
money's fucked up. But if
True.
you are stable minded, you're stable in your environment,
Uh-huh.
you're stable in your heart and your mind and
Yes.
your spirit, and you have love to give, you're going
Uh-huh.
to be a phenomenal parent,
Even with the
even
absence of a
without the
father or
absence.
not having a father
Because there's
figure role
plenty of
model.
people out here that are good parents and have healthy families that don't have mothers or fathers. And
Okay.
normally mothers are the foundation.
Yeah.
And some of them don't have that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. I,
So
go
so
ahead.
yeah, it all really depends on you in that situation.
Well, I remember back years ago, I went on a date with this guy, and usually men like to open up to me because I have that gift. And he had expressed to me that his father wasn't around in his life, and that he had reconnected with him thanks to his grandfather, and the grandfather cried.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, I wonder how he would have turned out when he became a father,
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't have his father in his life. And
Mm-hmm.
I could tell that kind of bothered him. He
Mm-hmm.
mentioned it to me. He brought it
Mm-hmm.
up. We were on our date. He was opening up to me.
most
That was
most
deep.
most men that go through situations like that and they come into fatherhood, they're going to go total against that because they want to be the best father they can be because they didn't have it.
Okay.
They didn't have it.
Okay.
They didn't have it.
Now, keep in mind that didn't make me stop from me by him telling me that that wasn't a red flag because that happens,
No,
especially with
that
black community.
happens.
That happens. He's a
Yeah.
black man, attractive black man. So that was not going to be an option for me to say, "Oh, that's a red flag. I can't marry him or date him or anything like that or be with him because his father wasn't around." I
Mm-hmm.
would have gave him a chance. It just didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was still going through his single phase and trying to figure out what woman he wanted and things like that.
I,
But
I also want to say too, and I
mhm.
want the audience to hear this too, and this is for the fellas. Just because you have created may have created a broken home does not mean that you love your kids any less, and that also doesn't mean that you're not a
Oh,
good
that's
father
true.
either,
Thank you
because
for
all
saying that.
relationships don't work out and you
Yeah.
do go on to the next.
Yeah, you're
But long
supposed
as
to.
that you have the respect and love for your children
Children the
and you treat them
most.
all the same,
Yes.
it is all good.
Okay, I like that
Shit
you said
happens.
that.
So I wanted to go back on that because broken homes is a negative. It is a
It
negative,
is.
but all
It
relationships
is.
don't work out. And my
Yeah.
thing is too, I wouldn't want my children to sit around and
Toxic
see
parents.
toxic, unhappy parents. I
Yeah.
want them to see their parents at their best and both of their parents happy,
Yes.
and still be able to love them and show them the same amount of love, regardless if they're in the same household or
Or
not.
not. True
So
that.
I wanted to go back and just say that to you fellas because I didn't want to make it come off as a dig because my home can break today or tomorrow
Yeah,
also
yeah. That's
too.
any of us.
So that's
Yeah.
any of us. None
Yeah.
of us are exempt.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say just because some people may feel the pressure of, oh, well, nah, love your kids regardless. As long as you
Yeah.
love them and you treat them good and you support them and you there for
Yes.
them and continue to
Yes.
provide,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. It does
Yes.
not matter.
Yes. I like that. I like that. Yes.
Where are we at? Okay. Okay. What kind of legacy are you leaving?
Huh.
Mm,
What fellas, what kind of legacy are you leaving? SeVen, is there a legacy that you want to leave for your kids?
that's a good question.
What is it? Have you thought about it that far?
Honestly, I haven't.
Okay.
And that's a
That's
really
real.
that caught me off guard, guys. That's why I kind of paused for a second.
It's okay.
Um, I really don't know. But I will say, I don't know about the legacy part, but I know what trying to instill in my children
Mhm.
is going to, I hope
Mhm.
that it's going to set them up for their future
Mhm.
and that they
Mhm.
do well because I'm pretty much living for my kids right now. My life stopped 13 years ago.
Yeah. A
So
while back.
every positive move, every great thing that I do in my life, everything that I'm achieving or trying to achieve in my life, every better decision, everything that I pray about, everything that I manifest about is in is in a line for my children
Uh-huh.
and their growth and their future. So that's kind of where I'm at in my
Uh-huh.
life. I haven't got to a legacy point or anything like that,
Yeah.
but I know my kids will say, my kids and they're all mine.
Yeah.
My kids will say, well done, well, job done, Dad.
Yep. Job well done, Dad.
Job well done.
I
Yep.
got you.
Job well done.
I got you.
That's all I got for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I could ask you on this one. Is being present more important than being perfect as a father?
Absolutely. Because ain't nobody perfect.
Okay.
Being present.
Okay.
Being present. And that's something that I learned on because
Wow.
I thought my thing was once I started having kids, I'm like, I'm working all these jobs. Because
Yeah.
after I got out of school, I started working 2, 3
Yeah, you was
jobs
getting that
because I
money.
was getting money,
Getting
I had
that money.
plays, cards, doing my
Yes.
thing, just young.
Living life.
So I used to tell my girl, I was like, well, you home or whatever, and I'm going to work these jobs. I want my kids to have all these
All of it.
material
Yes.
things. They had
Yes.
the clothes, they had the sneakers, all the toys,
Yes.
technology, power
Yes.
wheels, all that. And she says, all that's going to fade away. What they're going to remember is time.
I heard something like that before. That's beautiful.
And so with that made sense. And I cut back and I was able to cut back. And on the working, still work full time and little something on the side, but it felt good to be present and see those moments watching my
Uh-huh.
kids grow up and doing things with them and pictures and videos
Uh-huh.
and just getting to enjoy my kids because now it's their life. You know what I'm saying? So I
Uh-huh.
have to be present for them. And I appreciate that. I appreciated that conversation with her because it was the truth. Because I thought just being the provider was every single thing. That was the number one priority, being the provider, making sure the kids have everything they straight and bills is paid. But time had to come in there too. And because you're doing all that work and then you giving your kids all this stuff, but when they want to cuddle, when they want to talk about their day at school or tell you if
Uh-huh.
they're having a good day or a bad day or anything like that. You don't want to be tired and be like, here's this, here's that. You got that. Go play with those toys. No, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
remember those conversations and the time that daddy sat there and held them and talked to them and whatnot. So, yeah,
I, I agree. It's about the
present.
member. So what about, okay, so then here's a good question then with that. So then what about, is it important to have a present father who's not a provider? Remember, father, we talked about it earlier. Father is a man who provides. We can't
Mm-hmm.
be hypocritical on that.
Mm-hmm.
We did mention that.
Honestly, you got to be both.
But what if he's just present and not the provider?
That's between him and the mom.
Mm.
That depends.
That's going to be kind of,
That's between
that's going
those
to be
two.
tricky.
That's between those two.
Because it's like, damn, I have him here. Because remember, the
Be-
black fathers or most
because
fathers run away.
because if the child can remember
He
all the
can't
times dad
afford
was
to keep
there
up with the child.
versus all the times mommy had to figure out the bills, and especially if mommy
This
is
is
not the
deep.
one that's talking about that type of stuff around the kids, the only thing they're going to think was my dad was always there
Okay.
because there are mothers that protect that.
They protect that.
I,
Do you think that's right as a father?
it's not right,
Okay.
but it depends on that situation and
Okay.
their agreement and what works in their relationship. But if mom rather have him there and be present and then it is what it is. But I can't speak for other people's situations, but the type of man I am,
Uh-huh.
I'm present and
And a
provider.
provider. Do you think that makes a good father? It's
Absolutely.
when you're both, not just present
Both,
without
because that
providing.
sets an example, because working and all that
That's
and
part of
paying bills, that's
life.
part of life,
Yes.
and kids need to see that.
And then when he
They
has his
need to
own
see
kid or
two parents doing
yes,
that and
yes,
handling business,
yes.
but it all depends how they're
Their
playing it, how in
situation
their
is.
situation.
Okay.
So I don't want to go too deep on that one, because it's different strokes for different folks. And you can have there's plenty of relationships that may be healthy where mom is the sole provider and dad is the present dad.
Yeah.
Dad's the one that's taking you to school. Dad might be the one that is doing homework. Dad might be the one that's taking you to football or whatever, whatever. Dad
So
might be the one taking you to doctors because mom got the good job,
mhm,
or
mhm,
vice versa when it comes
mhm.
to that. But if you both got it, I think that's even better. But if there's an understanding, if there's agreement, if that's just what works in the household, that's just what works. Now, when you're not in the household as a father, then that is a question mark, because the kids are going to see, well, mommy's doing all the work. Yeah, dad's present. He picks us up or he'll do that, but he really doesn't do much for us
But like financially?
financially.
Okay.
Then they'll see that. But then when they get older, you kind of can have those conversations like, daddy had a hard time with money and
Uh-huh.
jobs and all this and that. But they'll also say, well, dad, I remember you came to the school dance. You pick us up every weekend, or we did this or we did that. So it
So is it important that a father never ran, he still stood by the children
still stand
and was still
by,
present by
because some may run
for the
because they don't
children?
they because they think because they don't have money they're not valuable, you
Okay.
know.
Damn, that's sad.
But it's the
This
truth.
is is a little tricky and confusing though. But yeah.
It's the truth though.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, before we go on, I just want to have some side notes I want to say pertaining to this topic about fatherhood and fathers. Um, deadbeat dads, like we mentioned. I don't know if we mentioned it earlier. I think we did about the deadbeat dads. How I think they're used as laughing. It's used to degrade them and to laugh at them, to put them down. I don't know a situation how we could change that. I don't know if a deadbeat dad could be reformed. I
He
don't
definitely
know.
can be
Do you think he could
reformed.
be reformed?
Hmm.
Because that's why fatherhood isn't talked about much, or Father's
Hmm.
Day and all that stuff, or
Women have really
fathers.
picked, and
It.
and you know what? This is nothing. This is since the beginning of time.
Uh huh.
Women have always been the strongest when it came to parenthood.
I think so too.
I, I
I
honestly,
agree.
I
I agree
honestly
on that.
believe that,
I
and
agree
I
on
would
that.
never take that from a woman.
Hmm.
But just, I don't know.
I,
And there's so many good men out there. There's so many good fathers out there. There's so many good leaders out there.
but who can help a deadbeat dad,
He
quote
gotta want to.
unquote?
He gotta want to help himself, because some of these guys have came from excellent upbringings.
That's true. But what if the ones who didn't come from excellent, where their backs were against the wall?
It's choices.
Okay.
It's it's choices.
Mhm, mhm,
It is
mhm,
choices,
mhm,
and
mhm.
I that's one of those things I really can't fight. It's a choice. When you lay
You
down with
stay, yeah,
somebody
you stay
and
in
you
it
know
or you
the
get out of
outcome of
it.
it,
Yeah.
it's the choice you make. It's not hard to be a good father.
Okay.
I know
Okay.
certain situations can make it difficult,
Uh-huh.
but it's not hard to be a good father.
Uh-huh.
It's the people that make it hard.
But I feel that fatherhood isn't easy because I think sometimes like for instance, let's talk about child support. My sister and I
Look,
had a topic about
hold on.
child.
Let me cut you off on that.
Okay.
Parenthood isn't easy at all
Oh yeah, yeah.
on
I
both
think it's
ends,
yeah, I think it's stressful.
even in a two-parent household.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to be a good father or to be a good mother, it all starts with love. It's not hard to love if it's, and when, especially when it's yours.
Yours.
You have to be a broken person that, if you can't love and see this what you created,
Uh-huh.
and you don't want to be supportive and be there for them and love them and guide them and lead them, that's something that's broken into you. That means your heart is not open.
That you don't know to love or you
You
don't
don't
have
know how to love. That's
self-love.
what I said. Love, that it starts with that love when
That
it comes to
love.
the parenting, both ends,
Uh-huh. I agree. I agree. And have love to give, like
and
you
have love
mentioned.
to give.
Have love to give. So, but I will say this, what I mentioned, that fatherhood isn't easy. And my sister and I had to talk about that. The middle sister and I had to talk about that. I know, ladies, you may look at me kind of like I might be dumb, or what is me and my sister or my sister and I thinking? But we honestly feel that the men that have to pay child support, we kind of have sympathy for them because they're charging some of these men a lot. So it's like, how can they live the times that we're living in?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I will say with the child support thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's unfair sometimes with the
It
men.
depends on the case.
It depends on the
If he's a
case.
father that's not doing anything, absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. Now, if he's now and I understand that if he's a father that's not doing nothing and you have to have the government go after him to do something, I understand the child support. But if he's a father that goes to work and doesn't have a problem providing, why is he on child support? If so, I feel
Okay.
like with some of those child support cases, because the woman want that extra income in the house, it's not even about him not being a father to his kids. And especially like say if you have joint custody, joint custody, we're splitting the kids during the week or
Yeah,
the
the
weekends or
money.
whatever.
Yeah, the money.
If the kids at my house half the time, at your house half the time, why I gotta pay bills at your house? Are you paying bills at my house?
Okay. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
So when it comes to that, some of it's about money, some of it's bitterness,
Yeah, getting
and
back
then some of it
revenge.
is about just the father not doing his part.
Okay, what if the father say, okay, let's do a scenario. What if the father is active doing his part, but I guess not financially helping the mother a lot? So she's saying, fuck that, I'm going to go to child support court and get the
Hmm.
money. And he's like, I'm having hard times right now. I can't. I heard stories about fathers
I
that have
have
to
too.
they can't
They have to
live.
come to
Their
they
rent,
have
their
to come
car notes.
they have to come
That's
to the agreement,
hard.
because if mom is struggling also too and you're struggling, we got to come to some type of agreement that will work for both of us. And that's the problem. Ex couples are not communicating on what's going on. Everybody is in the uproar because of their finances. Some might just be upset because that person's not with them.
Yeah,
There's a
moved
lot that comes
on, probably
behind
moved
that
on.
child support stuff. And so that's why I can't really put my finger on it. That's why I said there's certain reasons why that is what it is when it comes to that. But all the weight shouldn't be put on the mom, and the mom shouldn't have to feel sorry for the man, if he's having a hard time too. Because if the child, especially lives with, if the mother has sole custody of the
Uh-huh.
child, she is going to need some type of support.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes,
I
she
agree.
is going to need
I
some type of
agree.
help.
But sometimes the amount could be kind of just like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
could be way
Some of the
way too
amounts
much.
are
Even with celebrities, we
ridiculous.
hear this.
Because
It's like
if you
what?
think about it, a
How is he
child
gonna
is not using all
live?
that up that
Yeah.
much.
How
But
is this man gonna live?
yeah, so that's why I said it needs one. Those types of things need to be organized and communicated
And maybe
properly
compromise.
and
Like, honey, if you can't
compromise.
afford or ex honey, you ain't no honey no more.
Yeah,
Ex
it's
honey, if you can't
compromise and
afford
communication when it comes to
when it
that.
comes to that.
Yeah.
Okay. I also want to say that we're going to talk about bonus fathers, stepfathers,
Okay.
bonus fathers. So, bonus fathers, I know you're one of them. You love the children that are not yours, and you genuinely love the children that are not yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's some fathers out there that do. And shout out to, I had stepfathers that love myself and my sisters
Sisters.
as if we're, their own.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. And then you have some fathers that don't really like their stepchildren.
Mm-hmm.
We have those.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have moments where sometimes that the bonus fathers are not appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We have those moments where the bonus fathers are not appreciated, not respected, not shown love, not given, props given to them
Mm-hmm.
as they should be. Especially when the men are doing a phenomenal job and stepping up to the plate to
Mm-hmm.
replace, not to replace, you never replace the biological father, but filling in
Filling in.
for that moment or that time
Mm-hmm.
that the father is not in the household.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel sometimes that bonus fathers are unappreciated.
I feel that way sometimes, and
Yep.
I try not to take it out on the children. I
Mm-hmm.
typically go to their mom about it, because
Mm-hmm.
you have to also instill that in them also too. Like, this is the man that is taking care of you.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
the man that's providing, making sure that you have what you need and also what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also showing you love. That's
Mm-hmm.
also trying to guide you. That's also trying to, build your life up for
Mm-hmm.
success and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when those type of situations come in my direction, I immediately go to mom,
As you should.
as I should.
Yes.
Because you, in my defense, you are an adult. You know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see this type of behavior going on, this type of disrespect going on, it's your job to check it.
Mm-hmm. 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 I believe that. I remember your mother checked me before because I was coming out of pocket or out of line with your stepfather. She didn't play about him, and
Hmm.
I was a child, and she checked me for that. She's like, "You don't talk to no grown man like that." And
Yeah.
I think she checked you a couple times,
Hmm.
in reference to respecting her man,
Hmm.
your stepfather.
Hmm.
she checked you too.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I guess it's
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the woman, it starts with the
Mm-hmm.
mother. And I agree with that. I firmly
That
believe on
that
that.
right there is a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
I deal with that on and off in my relationship, and it's not to work. It's not the worst. Like I
Yeah.
said, there's 3 girls and they're teenagers and
Yeah.
preteens, so I'm dealing with a lot
Yeah.
of emotions
Absolutely.
and all types of stuff in the house. I don't take it too personal, but when I don't, my big thing is appreciation. So when
Absolutely.
I
When you go all
and
out.
respect. So when I
Absolutely.
don't feel that I'm being appreciated, and when I feel that I'm being disrespected, yeah.
Mhm.
And especially
Mhm.
if I say something and mom doesn't follow up
Mhm.
and she doesn't have my back on it, that's definitely a problem between her and I.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So typically, yeah, me and the girls will have those conversations, and I can get them in line, and I take them, get them where
Mhm.
I need to get them at, and check them. They hear it, and they receive it, and then sometimes they don't, and
Yeah.
then that's when I have to remind them, or I have to let their mom know, hey, you need to go take care of that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
But
that's a good way to handle
I've
it.
have felt like that, not appreciated
Uh huh.
and disrespected.
Uh huh. Uh
Yeah.
huh. Uh huh. You're awesome, man. You're
Thank
awesome
you.
friend.
Thank
I'm
you.
not saying that because you're my friend, but you're awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yep, you are. Okay, y'all. So we got some stuff coming up. I know this is like almost 2 hours long or a little over 2 hours, but this conversation couldn't be rushed. And we're not gonna let this be rushed because like I said, this is rarely discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So we needed to speak about that. And just, if y'all need to put it on pause at certain times, like timestamp it for yourself, remember where you left off at and started, do that. Or if you could listen to it in a 2 hour or 2 hour plus window, go ahead and do it. But
Yeah.
pause it. We know it's long, but we're only here once a month. So give us some grace, y'all.
Right.
This is something important. So I wanted to, okay, you know how they say we give people their flowers while they're still here.
Mm-hmm.
That saying that we're saying now, it's, popular, viral, give the people their flowers while they're here. So with this episode, we didn't want to give the men, the fathers, the bonus dads, the mentors, the father figures, their flowers. We save that for the mothers, for the
Mm-hmm.
woman. We are going to give the fathers, the father figures, the bonus fathers, bonus dads, their crowns.
Absolutely.
We are giving you all your crowns. No
Mm-hmm.
flowers here. You all are kings, right? You deserve the highest honor. We salute you
Absolutely.
and thank you for changing lives and setting the foundation and being an example for your children so that they could follow in your footsteps. And if you're not, if you feel that you're not at your best or you're not at the potential to be the best father you can, just know it's never too late to change. While you're still living on earth, you could always change. You just got to work on yourself, you know, work on yourself internally, figure out what you
Absolutely.
have to
Because
do.
you can always make changes, and you can always become a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
You can always, you know, like I said earlier, it's hard being parents, but it's not hard to be a parent also too.
Yeah.
So once
It
you
can
have
be.
that love and the guidance and the leadership in your heart, all the other stuff will fall into place. That's the easy part.
Mhm.
If you can love your child, then everything else that comes behind it, you'll be able to handle it.
Yes.
Finances and stuff like that does play a part in his
Absolutely. And
heart,
all of us, how to
and all that when
shoot
it comes to,
fucking
parenthood and
money.
all that. That
Mhm.
is the hard part. But loving your child and protecting and guiding and leading them
Yes.
is not hard. It's not hard at all, fellas. And you all can do it. And any of you that may have lost, or lost your children, or there's a disconnect, you can always try to don't ever give
Oh,
that
I
up.
like that. I
Don't
like
give
that.
up
I like
on
that.
trying to connect or reconnect with your children.
Yep.
Don't let that go.
Don't let
Don't
that
let that
go.
go.
And hopefully the children might, even if you make initiative,
Mm-hmm.
whether you start it and then the children kind of back off or give you their
Mm-hmm.
ass to kiss, maybe
Mm-hmm.
fall back a little
Fall back,
bit.
but eventually
Maybe they'll
they'll
come
don't give
around.
up.
Yep.
They'll come eventually. They'll come
They will come
around.
around.
You got to
They'll go
give
through a
them.
growing
You got
period.
just like how you took
Yep.
your time. They're going to need theirs too.
Yep. Yep.
But
To process
don't
it.
don't give up on your kids.
Thank you
Don't
for
do
that,
that.
SeVen. You're so good. You're so good.
Um, I'm going to say this. Well, ask this. A great father is someone who
A great father is someone who is there for the child or their children, and I mean all parts of being there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
We kind of already said what makes you a good father.
Yes.
Um,
We can go by mentally,
just
emotionally,
everything and above the characteristics of a person,
provider,
of a good father,
protector.
of a leader, of a man, because you
Yes.
may not be a biological father.
Yes.
So all the good things that's instilled in you as a man
Yep.
that makes you a good man will also make you a good father. But I'm going to resort right back to what I keep on saying, the
Yes.
word love. If you
Love.
have that, that's going to make you a good father. And everything else behind it is going to fall into place.
Yep.
I
Follow
don't
suit.
care. Once you love your child, once you have that understanding, once you have that, it's
Go ahead.
something,
Preach.
even to the ones that aren't good parents, but it's something that happens to you when you become a parent. Sometimes it breaks you and sometimes it makes you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something that comes into you and it just turns a key in you. And I tell you, it makes you want to, speaking for myself, once I became a father, it made me want to be the best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important because your child is going to feed off of that.
Yes.
They're going to need that. They're going to need
Yes.
the best version of you, not being perfect, but
Yeah.
the best version of you.
And positive energy too.
Positive energy, a
I
good
believe in that.
soul, a good heart, all those things go a long way. And those will be the things that's going to make it's not always about money. It's your heart. It's your heart
Mm-hmm.
and your soul. That's will make you a good father.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. And also, too, usually good fathers give their last. I forgot to mention that. Sometimes
Oh
they
yeah.
give their last. They put the children first,
Oh yeah.
and they put
My kids
themselves.
come
Yeah,
first.
they put themselves last. So I think that's important to prioritize
Hmm.
the child or the
They
children
are
coming
a
first. Yep,
number one
or give your last to
priority.
them. Yep. So we had to add that in there because we didn't mention that earlier. Um, so I just wanted to close out this episode topic by saying whether your father was present, absent, biological, a bonus dad, or someone who stepped in when they didn't have to, fatherhood leaves a mark on all of us. This Father's Day, I know we know it passed. Let's celebrate the men who show up, acknowledge the ones still trying to grow, and inspire the next generation to lead with love, like SeVen said, presence, and purpose. Okay, y'all, that concludes this topic. Thanks for listening. And guess what we have here? We have the Dear Sofa Talk letter. Okay, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna try to read slow. You know, I talk fast. I'm gonna try to read slow. Y'all, I feel like when I read slow, I start stuttering because I'm a fast talker. Shout out to the people who follow me, who can understand what I'm saying, even in real life. When I communicate with people, SeVen, I talk so fast. I talk faster than him sometimes, faster on the phone with him sometimes, but I have to talk a little bit slower on the podcast. So let me start reading this slow. Okay, here goes this letter. Brace yourself, everybody. Dear Sofa Talk, first, I want to say I love y'all's podcast because y'all always keep it real without making people feel like they're being judged. So here I am, hoping y'all can help me because I'm carrying something that's been eating me alive. I'm 34 years old, married to an incredible man, and we have a beautiful 5-year-old son. From the outside looking in, we're the family everybody wishes they had. My husband is loving, faithful, hardworking, and the kind of father every child deserves. He's the provider, the protector, and the first one at every school event, doctor's appointment, and bedtime story. My son absolutely adores him. The problem is, he's not my son's biological father.
Whoa.
Yes, yes, SeVen. Years ago, my husband and I hit a rough patch and were separated for a little while. During that time, I made a decision I wish I could take back. I slept with someone from my past. It wasn't a relationship, it was a mistake that led to me getting pregnant. Before I even found out I was expecting, My son's biological father was sentenced to prison. Around that same time, my husband and I found our way back to each other. When I told him I was pregnant, he didn't run. He proposed. He told me he wanted to give this baby the kind of loving, stable home he never had growing up. Watching him become a father has been one of the greatest blessings of my life and also the source of my biggest guilt. I've lived with this secret for 5 years. The biological father has never met my husband, but he knows who he is. Recently, word got back to me that he's being released later this year. He reached out through someone we both know and said he wants to be a part of his son's life. What shook me wasn't that he wanted to meet our son, it was what he said next. He told me, "I'm not trying to ruin your marriage, but I'm done pretending my son doesn't exist. He deserves to know where he comes from, and I deserve the chance to know him. You can tell your husband the truth, or eventually I will. Either way, I'm not staying silent anymore." Now I'm falling apart. I know I should have told my husband years ago, but every year that passed, it felt impossible. I convinced myself that this somehow would go away, that maybe his father wouldn't get out anytime soon, that my secret would stay buried. Now I'm realizing I wasn't protecting my family, I was protecting myself. I'm terrified. I'm about to lose the best man I've ever known. I'm terrified my son is going to be confused and hurt. And if my husband walks away, I honestly couldn't blame him. So I'm asking y'all, do I finally tell my husband the truth before someone else does? Do I let my son's biological father into his life after all this time? And if you were my husband, could you ever forgive me? Please don't be too hard on me. I promise I've already been harder on myself than anyone else ever could. Signed, Living with a Lie. I gotta put that paper down, y'all, that letter. Um, that is tough. I would
That's a
hate to be
tough
in her
one.
shoes right now. I don't want to judge you. Um, oh my,
I ain't going to judge her either. I'm just going to say this, and I'm gonna leave this one
keep it
right
real.
there.
Keep it real, like she
Um,
said.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. The
Mm,
truth shall set you free,
hmm.
because it's not fair to
Everybody.
the husband. Is not fair to the kid's father. Is not
Hmm.
fair to the
To the
child.
child.
It was an accident.
Accidents happen. We're
Accidents
not
happen.
perfect.
We're not perfect. And if your husband loves you, and if y'all were able to get through a, a hurdle before, I don't
Yeah,
see why
yeah.
y'all may not can't get over this, because y'all were separated when it happened, and accidents do happen. I don't think you're a bad person.
But she kept the secret for five
You did keep
years.
the secret for 5 years, and I get it,
That's a
because
while.
you were trying to protect everybody, and you were just hoping like something like this would just it
Like
never happened
disappear.
or just
Yeah.
disappear. I get that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make you a bad person at all. It's just a fucked up
Yeah.
situation. It's
Yeah.
it's fucked up on all ends. The best thing to do is be honest with everybody.
And then you'll feel released and relieved once you let this secret out. I think you'll feel more at peace. That's the word. You'll feel more at peace and relieved. And like you don't want that the biological father to hold anything against your head either. That's kind of like, I'm not gonna say blackmailing, but that's kind of like, ha ha, I got something on you. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let it be known. That's like he has control over you right now. A
Mm-hmm.
form, a form of control.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you know what, you know what, you're assuming that you might lose your husband. He'll be mad with you, of course. He may not trust you, of course, or the trust may take time if he decides to stay, stay with you and stick it out. But there is going to be trust issues. It's not going to be a walk in the park, and it's not going to be overnight type of forgiveness. SeVen, if that was you, would you forgive her? How would you handle that? You're a man, your male perspective on this one.
Absolutely.
How would you, if that was your
It would
woman?
be. It would. It
Honestly.
really depends on the situation. It depends on the love that we would have and how strong we are, and then falling in love with this little boy. And being the fact that so much stuff happens like this on the regular
Yeah,
nowadays, I kind of have a bit understanding. And we would see movies and stuff about it also
absolutely.
too. So I think honestly, because I would want her to forgive me, especially we never had like problems like this before where there was cheating or anything
Mhm,
and we just
mhm,
separated because of our differences.
mhm.
And honestly, this was a mistake and she's my wife. I would.
And
I
and
would.
this also
I
happened
would.
before
I
that
would.
this
And
so
it happened before we
before
got back together. And I
yes, that
would
is kind of
I
excusable in a
would
way.
forgive her and I would work with her and I would still love that boy. He would still be my son.
Yes, that's all
And
he
I would even
knows,
try to build a relationship with
the
his dad.
father.
And he would have both of us.
Okay, I like what you said. Okay. Because also too, she seems like she may be a stand-up woman also. She
Mm-hmm.
may be a good woman also. That man married her. She's got something, So some qualities and traits with her too. So I do agree. I think it's important to go ahead, release yourself, free yourself, and admit the truth. The husband may say, "Why'd you keep this for 5 years? What else are you keeping for 5 years? If you have anything else you've been holding from him, let it out. Then let everything
Let it
out.
out.
You might not just tell him this is the only thing because he may not want surprises. Again,
Mm-hmm.
trust is going to be a big factor. It's going to take time, and maybe get therapy to see or marriage counseling to see how you all could work through this if you need to. And the son may be confused. You might got to speak to a therapist about that on how to introduce the biological father in his life because he is going to be very confused. He's a
Yeah.
child. He
He's a
can't
child.
process this yet, 5 years old.
Yeah.
So I say go ahead, tell him the truth. Tell him the truth. Free yourself. Don't have nobody have leverage over you where they're controlling, like I said, controlling your life and making you be in fear of being exposed and secrets are out or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Go do it before he does it or somebody else does, like you said in the
Mm-hmm.
letter. So we wish you the best of luck and whatever the outcome is, peace and love and happiness and living and learning from this
Yep.
experience. Yep.
Yep.
Don't hold nothing back in anymore.
You're still a good person.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
still a good
You're
person.
still a good person. Thank you for the letter and thank you for the support. Thank you. So we're wrapping up now.
All right. So we want to thank everyone for following us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Tell the people who are not following us to follow us there.
Thank you. And we also have our own website now. You can go to sofatawk.com. That's SOFATAWK.com. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Real Talk, the Father Edition. Are you facing a dilemma or issue and you need advice from SeVen and I? Feel free to write to the Dear Sofa Talk letter at sofatalk@gmail.com. That's SOFATAWK@gmail.com. And we can see how we can help you. Our next episode titled Supporting Family and Friends Delusion.
Ooh, that's gonna be a
Hmm.
good one.
Yeah, I got stuff to say about that already too.
Yeah, that's gonna be
I
a
don't know
good
if I'm
one.
the delusional one, so we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be good. That will air on Saturday, July 25th. Please subscribe, like, follow, share, comment, or leave a review wherever you are listening. We are available on multiple podcast directories. Remember, the talk will have you talking on the sofa. Goodbye. Until next time.